It's for faggots.
What?
Hola! What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Wednesday Night Kiki, where myself and my fellow co-host EJ Parker will be bringing you the best in entertainment news and all the stuff that's trending, all the greatest trending hot topics that we didn't get to talk about within the past couple of days. We were supposed to have a show last week, but there were some technical difficulties, so some of the stuff from last week will be spilling over into this episode. Like, we're going to do some fashion recaps of the Grammys, because, you know, that happened and nobody basically watched it. A couple of people. I saw it on Paramount Plus. We're going to give our opinions on it. We're also going to talk about Janet Jackson. We're going to talk about Nutmeg McCain and the fact that people are dragging her over some comments she made last year about Asian Americans. And we got some news on Little Mama versus Jackée Harry. Justin Bieber under fire over some stuff of him using Martin Luther King in one of his songs. So we got a whole lot of that and a whole lot of topics we're going to do. Plus, we're going to have our little trending story segment where I don't even know what's on it. And that's the great thing I love about Wednesday Night Kiki. EJ puts it together and does the voiceover. And I basically am surprised when it comes on. And I comment on it after the video airs. So I'm really excited to see what he's got on there. Because, you know, I do love the element of surprise. He also told me there's some other stuff that we're going to talk about that he didn't tell me about yet, that he wants to surprise me about in regards to Drag Race. So we're going to bring that up later on in the show. But first, before we get to the main topics, there's a couple of things that I want to address. So now, you know that vaccines are getting out faster than usual because, you know, we have somebody who's actually competent running the country at the moment. I know, say what you feel about Joe Biden, whatever the case is, but the fact of the matter is people are getting vaccinated and movie theaters are slowly starting to open up again, which I'm excited about, but I'm also a little hesitant about going to a theater. Shout out to my AMC family, the ones that survived the snap, because you know what's been going on with AMC and the shadiness, the people that work there. So those of you who survived and still got your jobs, shout out to y'all. Thanos did not snap y'all into another oblivion and made you unemployed. But some of the things I want to talk about is basically some movies that have actually been shuffled around and have now been confirmed with release dates. So the first thing I want to get to is Black Widow. So yesterday it was announced that Black Widow, which I've been trying to see for the longest, but, you know, due to Miss Rona, it has prevented us from going to see this movie. So now Disney Plus has announced that Black Widow and Cruella will debut simultaneously on Disney Plus and in theaters. Now, on on the, what is it? Okay, so it says, according to reports, shout out to Complex. Like Black Widow, the Emma Stone starring Cruella will also debut simultaneously on Disney Plus and in theaters on May 28th. Both films will be under the streamer's premiere access window, available for a $30 rental fee. Now, after Black Widow, Marvel will unleash Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings in theaters on September 3rd. Meanwhile, Pixar's Luca will drop exclusively on Disney Plus for no extra fee on June 18th. So I find it interesting that they're trying to bring up an animated movie I ain't got to pay extra for, but I got to pay $30 for this movie. And I'm already paying $8 because the price just went up on Disney Plus. In case some of y'all didn't get that email, I got a couple of days ago that Disney Plus has gone up a whole dollar, which I knew was going to happen because, you know, with the success of WandaVision and now Falcon Winter Soldier just aired, and I definitely love that premiere episode. So I'm really excited about that. Now, Kareem Daniel, chairman of Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution, says that Disney's new plan reflects our focus on providing consumer choice and serving the evolving preferences of audiences. By leveraging a flexible distribution strategy in a dynamic marketplace that is beginning to recover from the global pandemic, we will continue to employ the best options to deliver the Walt Disney Company's unparalleled storytelling to fans and families around the world. Now, I am on the fence if I want to pay this money to see Black Widow on Disney Plus. $30 is a lot, especially when I'm so spoiled with HBO Max, where they're not even charging us an additional price. I get it that Disney needs to make their money because just on streaming alone, they're not going to make back that money with this film. I kind of wish they would have just did this idea earlier instead of just now hesitating to release it now, but I get it. They're feeling like by May, vaccines will be out and a lot of people, more people will be vaccinated. Movie theaters just opened up a couple of weeks ago. So, and I hear Regal, I think, is opening up next month. So, I'm excited for this. And I don't know, Cruella, I'm kind of on the fence about, I don't know if I want to see it, but I'll check it out. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I'm gonna wait and see if, like, shout out to, if y'all watching, my AMC friends, y'all slide me up in there for free. Management, hello. And I'll see it. But if it's all sold out, and it's hard for me to get a ticket to see this film because I know, like, a lot of people are talking about that theaters have been sold out even with the small capacity, I'll check it out and see if I want to go. I mean, if I can get into a theater, I'll pay them the $30. For how long? Hopefully it'll last 72 hours or something, like a weekend. Yeah, 72 hours. Hopefully and I love this picture, by the way, of Emma Stone as Cruella. It's giving me like this 80s punk vibe or 70s punk vibe. I did hear that it takes place in the 70s, I believe. I'm excited for this. So I'll check out both movies. I don't know if I'm going to pay $30 for Cruella. I need to hear more reviews and this, that, and the third. But if I can't get into a theater, I'm going to probably pay the money and I'll watch it and maybe invite some people over and we could all watch it as a collective. And I'll probably charge y'all a little fee or something. I don't know. We'll talk about it. Okay, so on to the next story. Another movie that has been finally given a release date is Spiral from the Book of Saw, which is the ninth installment of the Saw horror franchise, will now premiere in theaters a week earlier than originally planned. Now, the film, which stars Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, is now set to debut on May 14th. So that's some exciting news. Lionsgate, the studio behind Spiral, opted to move up opening weekend because cinemas in New York and LA, two of the biggest movie-going markets in the country, have recently reopened. Now, on Tuesday, Disney's Black Widow, as they said, vacated its May 7th slot, leaving room for the on the calendar. Spiral will open on the same day as Angelina Jolie's thriller, Those Who Wish Me Dead. So I actually want to see this film. I heard that Chris Rock came up with the concept with it. I don't think he wrote the script, but he did come up with the story. Now, the upcoming film follows esteemed police veteran Jackson, brash detective Zeke, who's played by Rock, and his rookie partner, played by Max Minghella, as they take charge of a grisly investigation into murders that are eerily reminiscent of the city's gruesome past. Unwillingly trapped in a deepening mystery, Zeke finds himself at the center of the killer's morbid game. Now, Darren Lynn Bousman, directed this movie from a script by Josh Stolberg and Peter Goldfinger. Darren Lynn has directed these films, a couple of the Saw movies, and I believe he also directed the Collector series. And we're getting a third one of that. And I love that Collector franchise. So I'm definitely excited to see Spiral from the Book of Saw and seeing some Black people in the lead in some horror movies, because quiet as it's kept, Black people love horror films. People of color love horror films. So we can get a lot more of that, representation, not just seeing white people in horror movies. I'm just talking about besides what Jordan Peele is giving us in the upcoming Candyman. That would be awesome. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this film and whatever twist they got at the helm for Spiral. Okay, so moving right along. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Resident Evil has been rebooted and I believe, supposed to be coming out in September. And it's got a lot of relatively unknown actors portraying it. Now, if you watch a lot of TV, you'll know some of these people. I'll read off some of the cast in a second. But the new Resident Evil movie is directed. Well, I'll get to all that in a second. So now, Johannes Roberts, who he directed, oh my God, I can't remember. He directed a shark film. Can't remember the name right now. But anyway, so he did an interview at South by Southwest's online event. Now, the official title of the upcoming Resident Evil movie is called Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. Okay, so now I'm kind of on the fence about that title. I don't necessarily like the title. This is the, thing, but I have seen some of the pictures of the set. The sets look really cool. Like, they really put some money behind this film. It looks eerily like a Resident Evil video game come to life. And that's kind of what I want. Like, to me, the closest I want to a video game adaptation where it looked really cool and it's got that energy and that vibe. I got that from, oh my God, Silent Hill. The first Silent Hill, I just love the mood. I love the visuals. I love the costumes. Everything about that movie gave me what I needed, even though I want a little more. But, excuse me. But yeah, this movie, he also he shared a few tidbits, which is scheduled to be in theaters this September. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City will adapt the first two Resident Evil games, and as we've known for a while, will include main characters in both titles. Now, they said that Welcome to Raccoon City will take place in the year 1998 and will tell the events of Raccoon City being under siege from zombies. Now, the Spencer Mansion and Raccoon City Police Department will be featured in the movie. They also said that now there was an interview that Roberts did with IGN. Well, IGN snagged a brief interview. And they said he basically said he wanted to focus on the tone of the film by saying the following. The thing I loved about the games is that they were scary as hell, and that is very much what I wanted. That atmosphere, it's rain, it's constantly dark, it's creepy. Raccoon City is kind of this rotten character in the movie, and that sort of atmosphere in the games I want to put in the film. And I think a lot of times people don't realize that when you watch a horror movie or you watch a film, the city in which things takes place, like whatever set you're using, the things around you, objects, everything is a character. And I think a lot of times people just think, oh, well, like those Mila Jovovich travesties. Don't even get me started about those fucking movies. Like, I love Mila, but her husband needs to just be banned from directing movies altogether, forever. Like, there needs to be some sort of punishment or a crime against what he does to films. Because he did Monster Hunter too, and don't even get me started with that shit. And then I heard they're doing another based on a video game. I said, okay, now who keeps giving this motherfucker money? But nevertheless, the Resident Evil movies, they're guilty pleasures. There's certain things I love about it. But to me, you don't just throw Leon in there or, a Chris Redfield. You don't throw characters in a film and think that that's going to be enough to save a movie. Don't give me lip service. Now, they need to serve a purpose. If you're going to put Chris Redfield, if you're going to put Claire, if you're going to put these characters in a Resident Evil film, there needs to be a reason for them to be there. You don't just bring them in a film and then next thing you know, the next movie starts. And I'm like, okay, so what happened to Chris Redfield? Can you let me know what happened to him? He just vanished. We don't know where he went. You found Claire, but her brother's gone. You don't explain what happened to them. They all show up at the end of one movie, and then the new movie, they're gone. Like, it just made, the script made no sense. The characters serve no purpose. You basically just throw them in, and then you create a whole new character that's not even part of the Resident Evil franchise because you fucking Mila Jovovich, that's your wife, and you got a bunch of kids with her. You want to give her a starring vehicle, but you don't give the fans what they need. Like, I'm all for bringing a new character in. Like, I have no problem with the fact that, okay, like, for example, Oh, hey Dijon, how you doing? I have no problem with, okay, so for example, the new Mortal Kombat movie. I know a lot of people find it controversial that they have this new character, Cole Young, played by my baby daddy, Louis Tan. You know, I love me some Louis Tan. I cannot stop talking about that man. But anyway, he's in this film. He's playing a character named Cole Young, but people believe that he is actually the son of Scorpion. They'll probably have to explain that based on the whole background or whatever the case is. What? Yes, Oprah. He is allegedly, that's the rumor, that he's Scorpion's son, because in the first, I think, 15 minutes have been shown to a couple of critics, and they basically say that it starts off between a fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and then before they become those characters. So it's, you know, their pre-character of before they become those, and then there's a baby, and then Raven comes and takes the baby and hides the child, but she probably hid the baby in present day or something like that. I'm thinking that's what that's going to happen, because they're like, well, how could he be his son and he's transported from one time? Easy. He probably just took him into a whole nother dimension, to a whole new time, put him in present day, maybe had him adopted or whatever the case is. They'll work it on out. We'll wait until the film comes out next month. But to me, I just did not like a lot of those. Like, they were guilty pleasures. I love the visuals. Well, basically, they just ripped off The Matrix, quiet as it's kept. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with this Resident Evil film, which they're saying is that he took inspiration from two of my favorite John Carpenter movies. Well, I have many. You know, I love Big Trouble in Little China. You know, I love Halloween. But one of the movies I definitely love from him, from John Carpenter, is Assault on Precinct 13 and The Fog. So he's taking a lot of inspiration for those films, and it's supposed to hit theaters on September 3rd. And now the cast includes Kaya Scodelario, Hannah John Kamen, Robbie Amell, Tom Hopper, Avon Joja, and Neil McDonough. Now, a lot of these actors are from TV. Like Robbie Amell, you know, he is the cousin of Stephen Amell, aka the Arrow. He's appeared in a lot of TV shows. Tom Hopper is from the Umbrella Academy. He's the one that plays like that half man, half ape type character, where he had they gave him the shot and he has like an ape body or something. Avon Jojo was on that show, that short-lived show that was on Stars, where he was fooling around with Tyler Posey. And Neil McDonough, you know, he stars in a lot of TV shows. Most recently, he was on oh my God, what's that? Van Helsing on Sci-Fi. So a lot of these characters are from TV. I think it's cool that you pick a lot of TV actors and you put them in this film. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I need to see a trailer before I come to that conclusion. So let's move right along as I take a breath. Now, my girl Issa Rae is making big moves in the industry right now. And, you know, Insecure is about to come to an end. I believe they're shooting the final season. They're saying that the multi-hyphenate has signed a new 5-year overall deal in which her Hooray Media label will partner with Warner Media. Now, the deal gives HBO, HBO Max, and Warner Brothers Television exclusive rights to Issa's work in TV, as well as her first look film deal across Warner Media brands, including Warner Brothers, Pictures Group, New Line, and HBO Max. Now, according to Variety, Ray previously signed a 2-year overall deal with HBO in 2016, ahead of the debut of Insecure, renewing that pact in 2018 for 3 more years, saying it's really exciting to have the flexibility and just deepen the relationship that we already have. This is what she told Variety as part of the magazine's March cover issue. Hooray already had at least 15 projects in various stages of development with them, so we'd be working with them on the drama side, the scripted side, and the documentary side for a couple of years now. She also added by saying, when people believe in you and build with you, I tend to want to further that relationship. That's just been a staple of mine with so many of the people that I work with. They're saying that the pact is valued at $40 million over 5 years, putting Ray's payday in line with fellow multi-hyphenate creator Donald Glover's lucrative overall deal with Amazon. Ray and Warner Media declined to comment on the value of the deal. Now, we're going to talk about Donald Glover and Justin Bieber and that whole situation later on in the show, because, you know, apparently, you know, Miss Whitey, who out here looking like a poor man's Melanie C, but that flipped out blonde hairdo. Yeah, he loves looking like a lesbian. Excuse me. How he out here stealing people ideas and stuff for his music, which is not a surprise because, you know, people like him and Justin Timberlake are notorious for doing that. Robin Thicke, I can go on forever with that. But anyway, so shout out to my girl Issa Rae. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what project she's going to come up with. And hopefully there's some LGBTQ LMNOP based stuff up in there. We're also going to, later on in the show, we're going to talk about Pose and that whole situation too, because, they just wrapped their their series, what was it, a couple of days ago. So we're going to talk about that. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 days ago. And last, but certainly not least, let's talk about, since we're talking about deals and shows, Jamie Foxx, as you know, has been in talks of playing Mike Tyson's for a million years. Like this deal's been going on for a long, 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 long time, but now it's finally happening. And now he's about to start in a biographical limited series. Now the series is being titled Tyson. Is not currently set up at a network for streaming service, but we'll find one, since we have names like Antoine Fuqua, who is like one of my, not the all time, but he's one of my favorite directors. I love a lot of his movies. Training Day, like I could just name a bunch of films that he's done, where I actually love Antoine Fuqua's work. He's going to direct and executive produce, and Martin Scorsese is going to executive produce via his production company. Now, the series is set to span the whole of Mike Tyson's life. And Tyson said, I've been looking forward to telling my story for quite some time. With the recent launch of Legends Only League and the excitement from fans following my return to the ring, now feels like the perfect moment. I look forward to collaborating with Martin, Antoine, Jamie, and the entire creative team to bring audiences a series that not only captures my professional and personal journey, but also inspires and entertains. So I'm excited to see this. I'm really hoping that if we're going to do a Mike Tyson biopic, that we're going to get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because I always feel a little hesitant when people try to do their own biopics and you only want to give us certain aspects. Like, I want to hear the whole thing about you raping Desiree. I want the stuff about you beating up Robin Givens, who is upset that the fact that this movie is even being made, because I've reported this on the podcast. I want to hear all this stuff. I even want you to go back to my old hood in Brownsville when I used to see Mike Tyson giving out Thanksgiving turkeys to people in the neighborhood. He used to give it out across the street from the building that I lived in. So I actually remember that growing up as a kid in the 80s, where I would look out the window and I actually saw him and Don King, and they were giving out turkeys to the people for Thanksgiving. So he was always giving back to the community, and he always, came and supported his old hood and that sort of thing. So I'm curious to see how this film is. Another person who I didn't bring this up earlier, but I would really love to see. I know Madonna wants to do this movie about her life, and she's worked on it with Diablo Cody, and wants to bring this to the theaters, whatever the case is. I think Madonna's story, which spans almost 4 decades, needs to be a limited series as well. I really wish that she would kind of take the streaming service approach. You can get nominated for an Oscar for, if you drop a movie in streaming service. If you look at the current crop of Oscar nominations, majority of those, and I guess it's probably due to because theaters were closed, so they had no choice. But a lot of the movies that are being nominated is from streaming services, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. Like, a lot of films are being nominated from the streaming services. So I'm actually curious to see if she would kind of take that approach instead of trying to judge almost 4-decade music career and the things that happened for her to get to that crossover global superstar point. I'm hoping that she would actually kind of give us that with her upcoming biopic. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Jamie Foxx thing, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this movie. Another thing I want to talk about real quick before we go and we take a break, and I bring EJ in because I definitely want to get his opinion on it. I finally sat down and watched Justice League, and I said, you know what, I'm probably just split this in half, because they tell it in different chapters or parts, I should say, like part 1 and part 2, and then we got the epilogue and all the other stuff. But then my ass actually stayed up the whole 4 hours and watched it, because I was so caught up in the visual aspects. And I know there were people who were complaining about the overexertion of slow-mo that was included in the film, but overall, I enjoyed the film. I'm glad we got that Snyder cut, that he got to restore the film the way he wanted to, and I'm glad that he cut a lot of the bullshit that we didn't put in the his version. I didn't like that Justice League. I watched it once in a theater and absolutely hated it. I hated the fact that, okay, you wasted characters. You didn't know what to do with Cyborg. When you watch this version, Cyborg is clearly the heart of the film. He's a robot, he's a machine, he's this thing that you look at on the outside has no soul, has no heart, still trying to fulfill and keep a hold of his humanity. But then he ends up being the heart of the film. So I love the fact that, yeah, films like this, like when I look at a Justice League, and I'm thinking in the future, when you look at maybe an Avengers, when you bring these people together collectively, I feel like it needs a 4-hour movie. It needs to be, like a mini series or something where it needs to be stretched out so we can get to know these characters and feel the emotional buildup into these films. And to me, this Justice League gave me everything I needed. I know people complain about the special effects. I love the fact that the action was even better. Like we saw blood up in there, and then I even love the story of Steppenwolf and how y'all gave Steppenwolf a purpose. The fact of the matter was that Darkseid lost Earth because he was trying to conquer the planet and because all the gods came together. And shout out to Zeus and Artemis and all them bodies parts of child. Y'all been hitting the gym. But anyway, shout out to all of them and the the Green Lantern and the Amazons and all the different gods and all the people coming together to push out his character, to push out Darkseid. And then Steppenwolf screws up. Excuse me, my nose is just like my allergies is killing me today. Yeah, just seeing like he came and he was like, because I screwed up, I betrayed my family and this and that, and all I want to do is get back home and be accepted and be with my family again. So I'm going to conquer this planet for you and bring you this planet. And of course, the new gods come together in the form of Batman and Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Superman, where they revive him with the Flash and all that. So seeing all these new gods come together to take out this other guy who's trying to give Darkseid this world. And I wanted to see the Snyderverse play out in the way that he built it. But word on the street is Warner Brothers is not moving forward with the Snyderverse that he has already established. We'll see some of these characters play out in different films, and Henry Cavill's supposed to come back as Superman in some form or another. But unfortunately, we're not going to get that. We're not going to get to see, I wanted to see the Batman versus, the solo Batman movie with Deathstroke. I was clamoring to see that film. We're not going to get it. So I'm a little upset, but I'm looking forward to seeing the Batman with Robert Pattinson and see, because my top so far, I already said my top two, and we'll see. Robert Pattinson might be my third. Top two, Michael Keaton, because I grew up with Michael Keaton as Batman. Second is Batfleck. I know a lot of people don't like Ben Affleck, but I really love what Zack Snyder has done with this iteration of Batman. I feel like it's the closest we've gotten to the comics in regards of seeing him as a detective, the fighting, all that cool shit. I did not particularly care for Christian Bale in the Christopher Nolan franchise. I did not like the first Batman. I did not like Batman Begins, and I damn sure didn't like The Dark Knight Rises. There's certain elements in those films that I love, but as a collective, The Dark Knight is a masterpiece. Everything else after that, the book ends in between. I could just not watch those movies and I'll be okay. But I'm having a feeling that Robert Pattinson or Battinson will be like my next favorite Batman. So nevertheless, I would say this. Definitely check out the new Justice League if you have 4 hours to spare. It's definitely a film you should check out. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I felt like it filled in all the gaps that we didn't get with the film. And I feel like when you're beholden by a theater, you can only put so much in a film. But then I didn't understand the choices that he decided to put in the film. And you resorted the Flash to some BS about saving some family in a Russian place. Oh, child, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like the Flash is much more to that. And I love seeing Iris West up in the film too. So I could go on and on and on and on and on about this film. Maybe I'll do a separate little review breakdown, but are we ready to go and take a commercial break? Because I know you needed some time. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take a quick little break. We'll be right back with EJ, and then we're gonna talk about some trending topics. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more Wednesday Night Kiki.
What?
So she's alleging that she says Maluma fell very much in love with Jennifer Lopez, saying that he's drawn to her because she's a 51-year-old woman. Does she remind him of his mother of some sort? Because, J-Lo was that age. Not only that, but Moni claims Lopez is just as into Maluma. In fact, they're having a secret affair. I really see that they've had a sexual relationship, adding that the pair talks about their love for one another all the time on the phone and on WhatsApp. Okay, girl. But she didn't stop there. Moni also alleged that in addition to being obsessed with J-Lo, Maluma was also sexually attracted to both men and loved about makeup artists, particularly, or people that work behind the scenes, whether it's hair, makeup, or even in any part of the beauty situation. When you work with celebrities, you get all the good tea from them as well, because they will dish it to you. I know, because I've been on many a sets. But he'd be beating your face and stuff. And this is what they got. I'm not going to ask you any of that because we don't want to be that messy. But one of the questions I want to know, because you said you work with Deb Annie, do you think she a Trump supporter? Because that's the storyline they trying to run with on that growing up hip hop.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. Well, hello. Welcome back to Tonight Kiki, bitch. Okay, anyway, without further ado, let's bring him on in. EJ, where you at? EJ, where you at? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Ah, hi. Yes, the perfect.
Yeah, honey. What's the tea?
Yes, how you been? How you been? How you been? Oh my God.
Good.
I didn't want to say it until after the show, but I'm living for this. Everything is running smoothly. The videos, there was no hiccups. I'm living for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, your screen is green though. You turn it into the Hulk. Damn, I think I just jinxed.
No, wait a minute. Let me.
I was like, why is it screen green?
Oh wait, I'm on the screen. I'm on the live stream. If you guys see me green, let us know. I don't know, girl, but let me refresh and come back in here.
Wait, you're not green no more.
Oh, okay, all right. Restream not playing. Good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Let me show you, because I think I got the roots of the mouth. Like, I think I'll just be saying stuff and it just, shit just happens. Let me shut up so there be no hiccups. But yeah,
might be the whiskey.
Oh yeah, I had that earlier. Now I'm drinking this kombucha energy drink.
And I got my little bubbly over here. Little barefoot bubbly. Keep it cute.
I know ever since I went to Trader Joe's and I sold one of them and my friends told me about it. Wait, what?
Wait a minute. Okay, I got to refresh. All right, girl. I'm going to refresh. I'll be back.
Okay. Well, he looked and he saw he was green. What you see is green. I was having myself the moment from The Wiz where they were saying that line. But anyway, EJ will be back in a couple of minutes. Anyway, for those of you who are watching, how y'all doing? Oh, Lord.
Am I still green?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Green, not in between.
Oh, no. Okay. Here's what we're going to do.
What?
I'm going to have to log in my other.
Oh.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Hello, this is live. Anyway, for those of y'all watching, how y'all doing? Why'd I have to say something? It's like the minute I'm like, oh yeah, everything is running smoothly, things is clear, the water ran clear finally, and then here we go with a situation. The screen is green, freaking raining cats and dogs in New York. It is a hot ass mess. But you know, man, I can improvise. This live TV, live internet, live everything. I can keep rambling until we get to these hot topics because I got a lot of them. Like we got to talk about Dwayne Wade and him defending his daughter. Like I don't know why people keep interjecting themselves in these trans issues. We got some tea about Janet Jackson and how her upcoming documentary about her family pennies at a twist. They worried about what she might say. We also got some tea on Nutmeg McCain sticking her foot in her mouth yet again because she a Karen. You know, Karen stay putting their damn foot in their mouth about some shit. Having nerds about qualifications and what the hell's her qualification being on The View, except her last name is Karen McCain. Then we got Justin Bieber and Little Mama and the Grammys and a bunch of other stuff that's going on. So hopefully EJ will be back. Because I'm still live, bitch. Feel free to pop up in the comments and say a little something. How y'all feeling? Oh. Looking better. Wait, what happened? How come you were in green before?
I have no idea.
I literally talked for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
To my screen, I see eyeballs watching, but nobody is responding.
Right.
Wait, we live on YouTube too, right?
Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter.
Oh boy.
All right. So being that I am better. Okay, better.
Yes. Right. The manager watching too?
Yes, we got an audience.
Okay.
All right. So I am going to get back to where we left off. So yes, you were introducing me back into this messy show. And what had happened, you see, the internet gods came through. Well, didn't come through.
I opened my big mouth. Oh, I seen people retweeting the episode and stuff on the Twitter. Yeah. That's what I'm looking at now. Like I'm retweeting the show for those who, need to watch it and stuff, and we'll get to see it later on. But yeah, I was introduced to you because we were supposed to do a show last week, but due to some situations, it didn't happen. So So I told them earlier we're gonna drag a couple of them episodes, well, some of the topics from last week into this week. Like we're gonna recap the Grammys because we got pictures and we need to give our commentary and all that good stuff on that. Also, I don't know if you care to even, because I'll be doing it during trending stories. If you want to comment on some of the stuff I brought up, like the Mike Tyson biopic, Black Widow, and Disney Plus, if you're willing to spend $30 damn,
Well, okay. No, and yes, I'm here for the movie, but no, I'm not paying $30. I am super proud of
I was going to the theater to watch it.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I'm super proud of Issa Rae. And happy to see Black excellence in Hollywood, no matter what shape or form. And I'm not too sure about this Jamie Foxx, but I do think if there's anything that he's good at is biopics. A good one with Ray Charles, and
He was an Oscar for that as well, right?
Yeah. So I'm sure that he would definitely turn out for this one as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it in my response. I wouldn't really try to go any further than that.
Okay, so is there anything you want to lead off with? Because some of the other entertainment stuff.
Well, right now.
Later, but I'm just going to follow your lead.
Right. Right now, I think it is best to just get to this week's most trending stories here, honey, and let's start knocking these stories out the way.
Wait, is zero on there? Because I know that was last week's, and I did post a clip of the J-Lo shade.
Child, we could throw that in there too, child. But yeah, so it's a lot going on in this story, this trending week story. A lot happened, but we're gonna kick it off with we're gonna take you to the world of Drag Race UK, and we're gonna end it off with.
You can tell me what it is.
Oh, thank you. We're gonna end it off here in America, back what went down with the one and only Nutmeg McKay. So take a look at this, guys, and we'll be right back to go over these topics and so much more. Slow News Week's most trending stories. And we're kicking it off, unfolding in the land down under. After RuPaul's Drag Race, UK star Ginny Lemon opens up alleged gender discrimination on set. Ru, what's going on there, Gert? What kind of show are you running? Well, the truth should set you free. Next, we're talking about Hollywood and the ongoing efforts to raise awareness following the tragic murder of one too many Asian Americans fight to #stop the hate against our AAPI brothers and sisters. Celebrities from across the country and around the world came out to stand up for what they believe in and what is right in the name of humanity. In order for us to have true change, we must come together and denounce hate from our vernacular to our everyday practices. If you see something, say something. Truer words. Slow News Week. Never. Here are this week's most trending stories. And we're kicking it off with the drama unfolding in the land down under. After Drag Race, UK star Ginny Lemon opens up about the alleged gender discrimination on set. Ru, what's going on there, Gert? What kind of show are you running? Well, the truth should set you free. Next, we're talking about Hollywood and the ongoing to raise awareness following the tragic murder of one too many Asian Americans in the fight to #stop the hate against our AAPI brothers and sisters. Celebrities from across the country and around the world came out to stand up for what they believe in and what is right in the name of humanity. In order for us to have true change, we must come together and denounce hate from our vernacular to our everyday practices. If you see something, say something. Truer words have never been spoken. We here at Wednesday Night Kiki TV send our condolences to the families affected. Then, we take a trip to the Jenner clan and find out what she's in trouble for now. When will the charades be over already? Yes, the most richest Kardashian Jenner of them all is like asking for the poorest of people to like pay for her like makeup artists, like healthcare bills. Like, what? I mean, we can't make this up, y'all. Some will call this a good thing, and on the surface it looks nice. But when you dig deep, it says a whole lot more of the disparities in this society as we all live in the world of the have and have nots. Now she could have just paid the damn boy's bill, but no, let me post this and take a selfie before I get dragged. Okay, girl, to each his own, I guess. And Kylie, if you're so rich, then put your money where your mouth is, sis. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Do you think the backlash she received was fair? Let us know in the comments below. And finally, we head over to the insane, but straight down ugly. And after this last stint, let's hope this is the beginning of the end. So poor old Nutmeg McCain of The View decided to go on her usual propagandist rant about the chock full of conspiracies
virus that did originate in Wuhan. I don't have a problem with it.
Pointing fingers at people.
I'm sorry.
She finally put
We shouldn't stay
in a big fat mouth regarding the damage it has caused then and since. Plus, with the recent hate crimes and violence in this country against Asian Americans, with the rhetoric from the former disgraced, twice impeached, orange deranged president that he said about the coronavirus and labeling it the Wuhan virus or Kung Flu, to which Nutmeg condoned, but is now taken back due to John Oliver slamming her with her own words. Fascinating, right? Well, let's see if ABC/Disney has the balls to do what's right, or will they just baffle in the immense effortless traction and coinage, honey, coming their way as we hate watch to see the final results. But trust and believe that this is far from over. But if CBS, of all places, can get it together, then Mickey Mouse better pull a Fantasia and make some magic happen. Well, until next week.
Well, all right. That's this week's trending stories. And you know, I was collectively taking notes up here, so I got a lot to say.
Yes.
While I was playing, you know, I was pulling up stories and researching things, and I pulled up that Ginny Lemon story. And you know, I was watching Drag Race UK, which ended last week, and shout out to Lawrence Chaney, even though I'm still and always will be Team Bimini Bamboo Lash. I was upset that she didn't win. To me, it was like she started out rough and then grew to become a favorite and a champ and really excel beyond expectations. Lauren Chaney started out strong, fell a bit off, was messing up, became a little problematic, even the way she was coming at it when it came to, and I understand the bullying and stuff, like it's not right that people were bullying her over the way she was coming at one of the other queens on the show when they were doing the comedy challenge. But nevertheless, to me, I felt like Bimini surprised everybody, and we all thought she was going to be the front runner, but then Rue picked Lawrence, and I was like, okay, well, she won. It is what it is, and they're about to go on tour. They're about to be fun and successful. Who knows? Maybe Bimini will make it on the Drag Race International version, which, you know, they're all quarantining, and I have a bit of news on that. Well, I talked about it a bit on the podcast, but for those who need a little bit of context on the whole Ginny thing, BBC and Drag Race UK were hosting something called Ask the Queens UK on the 22nd of March, which was 2 days ago, on Twitter, and where fans could ask questions to the 12 contestants who participated on the second season. Now, in a series of now deleted tweets and an Instagram live stream, Ginny called out the show for blanking and ignoring them. Jenny Lemon tweeted, requested a talk with Drag Race UK on the tour to talk. No response. Emailed, no response. What the F is going on? They later added, thank you to Drag Race UK for inducing this panic attack, ignoring me and making me feel like an outcast once again. Hey, go F yourselves. She says she thought she had been excluded from the show and asked organizers to remove her photo from the promotional materials. Now, in the Instagram live video on the channel, Jenny went in and said that they milked me for a nice little non-binary storyline, haven't they? And that isn't that nice? Then bam, kick to the curb, bam, back to the trash. What's it about then? Buy the merch, darling. It's about money. Well, duh, it's a reality show. It's a competition series. And here's the thing. They're probably mad at you because you opted to not participate in the show. You were supposed to do a lip sync against one of the other girls, and you basically just walked off stage and never came back. So if you're going to do that, if you're not going to participate in the show, now everybody knows when you do this damn show, if you wind up in the bottom two, you're going to have to lip sync for your life. That is the last chance to impress the judges so that you could save yourself from going home. I know a lot of people say, from that outfit, you should have been eliminated. From that is not what they look at when you're a judge. It's like, do y'all not watch the show and pay a fucking attention? Or y'all just be so ready to just get on Twitter and shade a queen that you don't even know what the fuck RuPaul's Drag Race is about. The whole point of the show is when you end up in the bottom two, the lip sync is the way that you save yourself from going the fuck home. So I don't understand why people have a hard time computing that in their brains. It's kind of like The Challenge when I watch that show and they're like, oh, I don't want to go into I don't want to go into the elimination and get a skull. Well, you do know the only way you make it to a final is to get a skull. So why are you avoiding going into something that you're going to have to go into eventually? Like, it makes no sense. Oh, no, I just want to stay another week so I can, make $1,000 in my, because, with 30 people on that set, they're not making a whole lot of money. Sidebar, shout out to Nelson's penis, because did y'all see them pictures? EJ, you see them pictures that he put on, well, he got an OnlyFans, honey. I need to see Corey put up one, because he got a lot of kids.
No, I did not. I remember you sending something like that, but I don't, What?
But anyway, Jenny Lemon basically did not want to give the judges and when you don't give the people in reality TV what they want, they will turn on your ass in a heartbeat. And it's not just it's not even just Jenny Lemon. Like, it's we've seen it with Nene, we've seen it with so many other girls. When you don't want to give the reality TV people what they want, they have a way. They're more powerful than you. They did it to Tamar, they did it to Nene, they've done it to so many people. They will find a way to turn on you in a heartbeat. So shout out to you. And I don't even remember your non-binary storyline. So
well, I did see clips of it. I don't have the UK. I got to get me a BritBox. Keep telling my man to get us a BritBox, chat. We're working on it. But I did see the clips. Shout out to all the RuPaul, all the RuPaul Insta accounts. So many fan accounts. So I got some stuff about the Drag Race, and this came my account via Peak News. Shout out to pinknews.com. But I do think that there's more to the story here because 3 weeks ago or so we spoke about another Drag Race star, Sister in UK, who was going through something not necessarily regarding the show, but about the fan base. And you even spoke up prior to us doing a pre-show about that there was another drag queen that went through some things. I think Shady Lawrence or something like that went through some things.
Yeah, Lawrence Chaney, who I just said was she won Drag Race UK, that she deleted her, or she suspended her Twitter, deleted. I don't know, because you could delete a Twitter with the option of bringing it back. So she just disabled it. So because people were sending her a lot of hate, and it's like, I watch the show, I'm entertained by it. I don't have time to be on social media, like sending people nasty messages. Like, I don't care about these people enough. I mean, I do it because we talk about it as entertainment, but I don't have the energy or the time to sit up here and throw hate at people I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying. I don't have time to give energy into that foolishness. So I really don't understand these people who go on social media and tweet celebrities because they're mad over an edit that they're seeing of a reality show when you don't even know the whole story. The people who are out here throwing shade at Candy Muse, whatever the case, like, who has time for that? You people got a lot of time on your fucking hands.
Yeah, I saw that with Candy Muse too. Like, I just think it's the sign of social media. We live in a world where people feel they feel just important enough to say their piece, and no matter who feelings, and then they say grow thick skin, you shouldn't be famous. It's the same old punchline conservative rhetoric that we've been hearing, that we throw back at each other. We're about to talk about that chipmunk over there, that punching bag, that swordfish looking freaking, what was she today? She was giving very much alien tease this morning with
I said she looked like My Little Pony.
But there you go. So I just, let me not get riled up until we get there anyway. But this is just the world we live in, Chris, and we, including celebrities, have to learn how to deal with this, and it's not going to stop. Only thing that we could do is advocate that Congress put some regulations to people in their, I think people should be held accountable. If you asked me that a couple episodes ago too, I think when we spoke about Sister, do I think that the fans, drag queens have a responsibility to their fans, and do I think the fans should be held accountable? Yes. Like, I do think so. Like, we're getting to that point where when is enough? When we have a situation, that goes out of control, where someone stalks someone and possibly kill them, and how far is enough? Like, or vice versa, a drag queen kills herself, or himself, because now we have drag kings now. So, like, when is enough? And I know this is jumping the gun, hyperbole, and all that stuff, but this is real life we're talking about. When the cameras are off, they have feelings, and that's what you're talking about. When you made that decision, Ginny Lemon, to walk off and not even perform, one, people lost interest in you. Two, you're right, the executive producers was like, okay, trash her, and you have every right to go to run to Peak News and wherever you went to speak your case. That is your truth. However, people have every right to make their opinions too. But when it gets to hate speech and death threats, and now you're calling her cell phone, and you found out where she goes to the supermarket, like, that's
worse. There were people who, I'll even use Candy Muse as an example. People were so mad at Candy Muse, they got in contact with her mother just to bully her own child.
Wow.
Oh, she's trashy. I'm like, wait a minute, what are y'all doing? Like, first of all, if anybody did that to, like, if I'm saying something and y'all even try to bully my mother and talk about social, but first of all, my mama will cuss your ass out because she don't play that. Number two, if I found your ass, I'd beat your ass. See, a lot of y'all like to hide behind social media, but then again, I'm not trying to catch a case again. I've been to jail for assault. I ain't trying to do that shit no more. I have turned over a new leaf. I'm a Christian. I'm a good old Christian woman. I'm a Christian butch queen. I'm not doing no. I'm not going to do that. But like, to me, that's ridiculous when you step over the line. But you know what? It's unfortunate, because remember, I even brought it before the show, and this came out today. Jeffrey Boyer Chapman is not even returning to Drag Race Canada because they say scheduling conflicts, because apparently he's about to star in a reboot of Doogie Howser, so he cannot film for Disney Plus, by the way. So he's not going to be able to be in this show. He's not gonna be able to be a part of the judge. So it'll be interesting. Who they gonna pick? Another drag queen? Like, to me, first of all, y'all need RuPaul to come save that show. I don't like the whole idea of this having the three judges as the host. Or I don't like this whole concept of Drag Race Canada. They need to reboot the whole thing, revive it. Speaking of which, so I don't know who they're gonna pick to replace it. But speaking of which, RuPaul's Drag Race, word on the curb is it is getting a American Idol style reboot.
Oh wow.
So there's about a major shaker, and there's about a post by drag touring company Holly T. Producers are discussing the idea of having the contest run live over a 14-week period, saying in this American Idol style incarnation, queens will compete in challenges and then in a live Friday night episode face a public vote to decide the bottom two, who will then lip sync for RuPaul as usual. Now, many fans are highly skeptical, with RuPaul seemingly on a mission to squeeze as many seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race into her schedule as possible. It would make little sense for her to drag out a season in real time. So they're saying filming each RuPaul's Drag Race season currently takes. Now, here's the thing: when you do Drag Race, it takes about maybe 6 weeks to film. So they do about a month, maybe like a month and a week, a month every 2 weeks. So yeah, like about 6 weeks to film one season of Drag Race, which is cute and all. But I guess what it is maybe that they're sick and tired of too much of the show's shit getting out. and Reddit basically uncovering who's on the show, who goes home. Because this is how like week after week, people already know who's been eliminated and who's going home because it's getting leaked. I don't know who's leaking it. I don't know how it's getting leaked, but nevertheless, it's out there. We already know who the queens are before World of Wonder and VH1 reveals it. But honestly, I do like this idea of doing an American Idol style drag show, but Drag Race, no. First of all, we got like 29 different iterations of the show and about 5,000 American spinoffs. So let's do what we're doing with Drag Race and keep it what it is. Maybe I think maybe what they should do is a live American Idol style finale. Maybe that's what they should do. Just do the finale live. Don't film it because I guess they always say, well, RuPaul can't read a teleprompter. Well, bitch, better learn how to read one. Because I can improvise and I can read a teleprompter, no problem. But she'll just have to rehearse until you go live and then, do the teleprompter, whatever the case is. I think that'd be a much better idea. Do the finale live and have the queens up there doing what they need to do in front of a live audience. Whereas America sees it first and later on LA sees it. Just avoid Twitter. Because, people spoil every goddamn thing on there. So I don't know. I'll probably talk about this more on the podcast on Saturday. But, he has like Drag Race Down Under, which is just wrapped. Season 3 of Drag Race UK is about to start filming soon. International All Stars is about to start up, which I'm not sure if he's going to be hosting that. But I don't know. Now they're saying, but then again, we should say this. I don't necessarily know if I trust the fandom with that kind of power. Especially when we just were talking about bullying, we were talking about racism. Like if it was up to the fans, Candy Muse would have went home second episode. Or maybe the first. So there's a lot of, to me, unconscious bias or maybe just plain bias that goes into a lot of stuff. Whereas, remember when they kept Sanjaya around during American Idol? Yeah, I took it back, bitch. And then you have so many other things where they keep people around and this, that, and the other. So who knows? Maybe I like this idea of doing an American Idol style drag show, but I don't necessarily know if they should leave the power up to the fans for Drag Race. I don't necessarily know if they should do a live show. I mean, yeah, and then plus, like what they said, like they're trying to give us so many spinoffs of Drag Race. I don't think it's going to work, but I do like the idea of doing a drag show with like that would last about wait, how many weeks did they say again? 14 weeks. Because I do like, I don't like American Idol. Quiet as kept, nobody's watching American Idol. Let's be frank. But if they did it like American Idol, Dancing with the Stars, something where it's live week to week, I would definitely love to see a show like that. First of all, like I keep saying, we need different versions of drag on TV. Drag Race should not be the only show about drag on television. So if they don't use that idea, bitch, I'm about to use it, just so y'all know. Anyway, are you ready, darling? Are we ready to move on? Oh, I don't know what's going on, but speaking of Drag Race, let me bring up this.
Yes, we are ready to move on.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, when we was talking about really quickly, when we were talking about international Drag Race, the queens who said, Rita Ora was also supposed to be on Drag Race UK, but they said because some shit with her entourage, she didn't show up. I'm like, girl, this is why your career is falling. But because you even turned down the gays because you couldn't get your shit together, and then the same one that was hosting a party of 30 for her damn birthday in a some restaurant, which they got fined for. But anyway, so that's about the queens that are allegedly supposed to premiere. This is from Reddit, honey. The sleuths, they then dug it up. So take it with a grain of salt, because I did post it on Tribe as well. So definitely check it out over there if you can. But the cast, they're saying, of queens who allegedly are going to be on the show for Drag Race International. Bag of Chips from Drag Race UK Season 1. Blue Hydrangea, who started on Drag Race UK Season 1. Cheryl Hole from Drag Race UK Season 1. Envy Peru from Drag Race Holland Season 1. She won the show. Wait a minute, if you won the damn show, why are you competing on the international version? But okay, that's none of my business. They said the same thing about BB Zahara Benet. Didn't she win and she wound up on All Stars? But okay. Janie Jacquet from Drag Race Holland Season 1. She came in second place. Jimbo from Drag Race Canada Season 1. She placed fourth. Lemon from Drag Race Canada Season 1. She placed fifth. Monique Hart. Ooh, sensation, bitch. You know, I live for her. She definitely is full of character, so I would love to see her on there. She's from Drag Race Season 10. She placed 8th, and she was on Drag Race All-Stars Season 4, and she placed, I think, it said 3/4. I don't know what that means, but okay. Pangina Heels, who is from Drag Race Thailand Season 1. But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't she the host of the show? She was like one of the co-hosts. I also heard that Manila Luzon was supposed to be on there as well, and Juju B, but I don't necessarily know if those is true, but if they are, I'd definitely be entertained by it all. So, yeah. So, moving right along, what was the other topics that we were supposed to talk about that was in trending hot stories? We were talking so much about Drag Race, I forgot what the other topics were. Oh, yeah. So I know we were supposed to talk about Kylie Jenner. I want to get my thing clearly on that. Now, at first, when I posted it on social media, I was like, oh, this bitch got the nerve to be trying to ask us for money to pay for the medical bills of a friend from GoFundMe. And here's the thing, from what I heard is she saw it on a friend's social media and decided to repost it and bring her fans aware and make her fans aware of it and ask them to donate money. Now she did match, I think it was like 10 grand or something or another at first. She did wind up donating some money to match the first amount of money. Then when they hit the goal, they decided to up the goal again. Now, afterwards, I should say this. I know people saying like, oh, how dare she descend him? But now I do feel like it was a little tacky. Social media, so there's been something you stay out of, especially when, and that was shady of you to use her old face, but I live for it. But and when you were reporting on it, I know she's not obligated to donate any of her money, but we're not obligated to donate our money either, because you know she's rich. And it is like a little tacky to be asking people to donate their money to help someone who allegedly comes from money as well. So I don't understand why his family, his parents, those people didn't help him out instead of y'all launching a GoFundMe. So I don't even trust GoFundMe's a lot, because between that and the Gorilla Glue girl who did something completely dumb, and then y'all sit up here donating money to that foolishness, but I would just let her hair stay that fucking way. You do dumb shit. I'm not paying for it. Just like I get, whatever issue he was going through, if he comes from money, there should be no reason why you're setting up a GoFundMe to ask regular people who are struggling to make their own goddamn ends meet and even get unemployment or to get a $1,400 stimulus to donate that money to help someone get some surgery on whatever they need to get surgery on. Because quiet as it's kept, when I looked at that boy, it looked like she had a whole lot of surgery and that face did not look like it was naturally his. So, I did find a little tacky that she did with it, but nevertheless, she donated money. People dragging her. There's no obligation for her to donate again every time she is. I mean, when they want to up the money, you hit your first goal. That should have been it. Now you're being greedy. So on one hand, I thought it was tacky for her to put it out there and all this other stuff. But on the other hand, I'm not faulting her too much because she did donate a little bit of money. She didn't have to. First of all, this wasn't someone who is her regular makeup artist. She was someone who beat her face one time. And she was, and I guess that she didn't even know him all that well, but she was nice enough to use her platform and her influence to alert her fans to try to help this guy out. Even though, majority of your fans ain't got no damn money. They probably using their parents' money to pay for it. So that's all I got to say on that. Do you have any thoughts to add to the whole Kylie Jenner situation?
Well, I just think that, like, you know, we kind of this is an interesting story because, first of all, let's look at the memes that came from this. First of all, this one says here, let me move this thing here. It says here about Kylie, says no way a billionaire Kylie Jenner opened a GoFundMe for her stylist slash makeup artist stylist, I guess. Sis, how about you go fund him? And this one says here, so Kylie Jenner, who apparently earns over $450,000 a day and is a billionaire, shared a $60,000 GoFundMe of her friend who got in an accident for us poor people to donate to. Celebrities are a different breed. I agree with that, Chris. I mean, that's my sentiment with this. I get what you said, and there's some other memes here about Kylie Jenner just asked for money like we made the Forbes list. I mean, come on. Like, you cannot deny that these are like hitting the spot here. However,
it's a bit tone deaf, and that's why I said she wasn't obligated to donate money. And I said it's like me, if I had money and a friend of mine got into an accident, like, am I obligated to donate money to them? Like, I mean, and that sort of thing. So it's like, but then again, it's like, yeah, if this is, she did a nice thing. She donated, she donated money, and she, you want to know something? Child, okay. I take it back. She a goddamn mess. These people culture clueless. It is what it is. Like, I'm trying to defend this situation. I can't defend this bullshit. But I'm like, yeah, you should not be trying to hit up people. And like I literally said, I'm of two minds about it. And you literally asking your regular Joe Schmo fans, who is not millionaires and billionaires, to pay for something that they can't pay. That's like I said, me donating money to the Gorilla Glue girl. Like, I'm not donating, and you got that shit done for free. So, no. People who are defending Kylie Jenner in this comment section be like, yeah.
Clown.
She didn't open up the GoFundMe. She just shared it. So, I mean, but I do live for the memes, though. They're funny.
Yeah, this one here is pretty funny.
Let's build a body. No way billionaire Kylie Jenner opened a GoFundMe for her stylist. Oh yeah, that's the same. But it's like, yeah, you a whole build a body. You and your sister.
This is her apology here. She says, it feels so important for me to clear up this false narrative that I ask fans for money and I am not paying for my makeup artist's medical bills. Sam isn't my makeup artist, and unfortunately, we don't have a personal relationship anymore. But I have worked with him a few years ago, and I think he's the sweetest, but I can't afford him. Oh, no, wait, that doesn't say it. I saw my current makeup artist and friend Ariel post about Sam's accident. After learning more, she goes on and says, compelled me to visit his GoFundMe, blah, blah, blah. So she put in $5K. That's what you were talking about. Listen, the point of the fact is that like we said, it's tacky, it's tone deaf. She is one of the most beloved but also hated celebrities in Hollywood, and it's something that she has to learn how to deal with. I mean, no matter what she does,
that money on more surgery.
Well, that too. It's gonna come off the I have no ill will towards.
Huh?
No, I have no ill will towards any of the Kardashians. It's just, when they do things like, because in theory, like, yes, it's a great gesture. And you have people like Harvey Levin sitting there saying, oh, well, if people do this and she stops sending money, celebrities going to stop giving money. Really, Harvey? You really think so? Like, that's not going to happen. The fact of the matter is that she's a wealthy person. Thank you. She's a wealthy person, and billionaire is subjective, but she has enough money to help this person. And if she wants other people, we're going through a pandemic. People act like because we're in a pandemic, yes, there are people working, but those people who are working are well enough to work. And there are other people who can't afford to give anything of their $1,400 or whatever they got from Joe Biden to go and to give you money to help your friend who makes probably $1,500 a session doing makeup or more. He's a celebrity makeup artist. They get paid on what you call it? They get paid on it starts with an R. God damn it! They get paid on retainer. And monthly checks.
Retainer.
Huh?
Retainer.
There you go, retainer. There you go, retainer. I couldn't find the word for some reason. I'm heated, but it's just like this is just something that So on one hand, he's not your makeup artist. So, but you haven't spoken to him, and you saw something that happened to him, and you said, "Hey guys, help out," instead of saying, "Well, you know what? let me look out for my friend, you know. And yes, that's a personal thing. But then when you put it on social, people have the right to say, "Oh, here we go again. Here we go with these Kardashians," and because that's your brand. That is what, like, you know, your brand is social media. So yeah, you're doing something good, but at the same time, you're wealthy. I never hear any other wealthy person. I follow so many wealthy people, from Damon John, you know, even Jay-Z. The list goes on and on. Do you ever see Jay-Z tweet out a GoFundMe? Yes. Okay, I get it. Jay-Z's not 27 and he wasn't born in 2002. Got it. But do you see these people on social media? Oh my God, guys, da da da. I mean, I could see if it was something, you know, something like Save the Planet, such and such. Like, this is your who he was, your makeup artist. This is someone who, you know, okay, he's down in hard times. We all are. And I think that was the consensus of everyone saying, like, we're all going through hard times. And consistently, these celebrities, they either like to do two things. They like to boast their wealth, like Cardi B. No shade, love you, Cardi, but you boast your wealth with your Birkin bags. And should I buy this $800,000 bag or not? Well, I don't know, bro. What you do with that many zeros look like in my account? That's what other people are saying. And then you have Kylie, who's in her own bubble in Calabasas, and like, you know, you're doing this thing, and people are dying. The problem is that you have capitalism where the have and have nots, like I said in the narration of the trending stories. We live in a world of the have and have nots, and the have nots are not having it anymore. We're not going to sit here and deal with this 1%er person. I'm not even going to call out her name, but this 1%er, so be it, as Forbes declared her as a billionaire, and she's asking again her poor people. And I don't mean poor as in, you know, the photos you see on these UNICEF commercials, because that's what people think when they say poor. I don't mean that. I mean poor as in the class of wealth that you fall under in the tax bracket, sweetie. If you're not making a certain amount, you're declared poor. So, and that's just the reality of the system we live in, okay? And there's a difference between financially and the mindset of being poor. We can talk about that in another situation. But this is what she's doing. So when you have people like Harvey Levin, who sits in his high horse with his worth, he's worth about $70 million. He has TMZ, a platform that was bought by Warner Brothers Media. So he has a machine, you know, like we don't have that here, clearly. So, you know, this is someone on his pomp and circumstance, you know, because people, they take his information, and you don't understand Harvey's living a high life too, sweetie. Just because he's not posting on social media. Harvey is very wealthy. His very wealthy chiropractor husband or fiance, whatever the fuck they are today, I don't know, but I know he's dating a chiropractor, been for a while. But it's like, so you live your life, you come on TV and you demean people who are sitting there just trying to say, girl, like you said, Chris, you're tone deaf. I
don't particularly care for Harvey Levin. He's so bought and paid for by those Kardashians and all the other shit. Like, I can't take nothing that man says seriously. And whatever, he's a tired old queen.
That too. And you know, I'm glad that he got his coins, you know, and she made her apology. Let's move on. It's not going to be the last time, you know. And am I saying don't ever give him no? Do what you want, girl. It is just on the principle of like I said, if you're about that money, if you're gonna talk about it, be about it. And you know, people who have wealth, like I said, they don't talk about it as much. They talk about it all the time.
Move in silence. It's like, you know how much things Beyonce and so many other celebrities donate, and we don't even know about it, or we don't hear about it. So,
but that's not their brand. So
yeah, it'd be nice if, child, where did you go?
Oh, I'm here.
Split screen, bitch. Oh, sorry. But it's like, yeah. So I'm all for. If you want to donate money, but move in silence. We don't need to know every little thing that you want to donate to it. Instead, if you want to donate to this boy's GoFundMe, then do it. Like, he's not somebody you said you close to, that you're a friend of. So why should we be, as regular people, donate to somebody that you barely friends with? Oh, okay, that's cute. Everybody's sweet when they're around certain people, when they're trying to get a come up. But you don't necessarily know this person. Why should I have to donate my hard-earned money that I got to pay my rent and this, that, and the third for, and be able to eat and whatever the case is to somebody that you barely know?
Thank you. I mean, look at him. I mean, you know.
I mean, you, but that ain't natural, honey. That is on filler.
It's giving me very much James Charles. No shade.
Contacts.
Oh, you said contacts? Okay, I see it
Yeah,
too.
I think
Definitely see it.
so apparently, because they were some versus, and there's a couple of versus battles. We don't need to talk about it because we don't care. But I mean, I did hear one between SWV and Escape. I don't know if Tiny gonna show up. Probably not because she under a whole lot of shit. But word on the curb is Trina says she down to do a versus with Lil' Kim.
Ciao. You know, I actually be here for that. I'm actually here for that. I'm here for and I mean, I've been watching me and my man, we've been watching our Love and Hip Hop, you know, catching up on what's going on these messy ass shows. And you know, Love and Hip Hop has this current season where they're all in this sequestered in this little Arizona place, you know, probably close to Arizona where Nutmeg loves. We're about to talk about that hoe. So it's nice. I actually like the conversation. They're talking about Trump, you know, because clearly this was filmed prior election, you know, I think post or prior in between that time. And so they're talking about it and they're like, oh, one of you guys here, one of these people voted for Trump at the table. It's a big table, a bunch of them, Ray J, all of them, Trick Daddy, all of them. I think Princess was talking about that, oh, she was like, I'm not pointing no elbows, but you know, Ray J, we're looking at you. So I guess Ray J, and I'm looking at Brandy like, girl, Brandy, your brother voted for Trump for those. They said she was like, Princess was like, some of these people aren't like Trump Republicans. She said they're 50 Cent Trump Republicans. I'm like, oh, so they want the taxes, which is what the conversation that Ice Cube, all of them going to, you know, so Ray J,
they're only supportive of Trump because it protects their money.
Yep.
Basically. But to support a man because you want a tax break is basically that you're aligning yourself with a lot of his views. I mean, isn't that why people vote for politicians? Because you believe in a lot of what it is that their platform is running on. So I hate when people say, oh, well, they believe some of the stuff of Trump, but not all the stuff. No, you can't cherry pick. You can't cherry pick little whatever it is that you want out of certain people. It's sort of like, I didn't necessarily want Biden to be president, but I didn't want to see Trump in office for another 4 goddamn years, so I voted for him. And we know how politics works. So, you know, so far, Biden to me is doing what he can to get this country up and running because we had an idiot in office for 4 years who did absolutely nothing but try to ruin what's left of this country. And just shed light on something that we've been aware of for a long time, that it's full of flawed, racist, bigoted ass people. A lot of Karens and Kens running around.
Basically.
But meanwhile, you know, the China virus, all this other stuff, and you run around, since we're going to get into that in a second, talking about the ramifications of him starting this whole racist movement about Wuhan, China, when in fact, quiet as it's kept. I don't know. How do you want to talk about is she busy? Yes, bitch, I'm live. What was I gonna say? Oh, so you're out here calling this virus the China virus, and we had Nutmeg McCain co-sign on. Oh yeah, it was effective. Bitch, your whole waistline is effective.
Right.
But what was I gonna say? Also, you know, the whole thing with that, and then, but let's be clear, this virus may have originated in Wuhan. But there was a lot of people from Europe that brought it over here, just like y'all brought syphilis, which y'all brought this coronavirus over here as well. Italy was full of people that were infected coming over into the United States, particularly in Midtown Manhattan, where I was working at the time. So there were a lot of Europeans that were coming here that was bringing this virus. So people going around trying to blame everything on the Asians, it's not entirely accurate. But because you could just say something in a hashtag or a small little billboard or 125 words or less, yeah, it's going to be effective. The man is very good at marketing. That's the one thing he's a genius at. He's a marketing genius. Everything else is a walking failure. So anyway, to give context to it, I definitely want to shout out the people that were killed at the salon. This man went around and you had a deputy sheriff, I don't know what the fuck his title is. He should be unemployed, referring to it as he had a bad day. Oh, yeah, so you had a bad day. But that's
Please
stupid.
don't ruin the song, Chris. Stop. Let's take a listen to what she had to say about all of this.
Yeah, John McCain's daughter.
Yeah, because clearly she said what she said, and now she's trying to backtrack because she got caught and getting dragged.
By John Oliver.
Deadly virus that did originate in Wuhan. I don't have a problem with it.
Pointing fingers at people.
I'm pointing fingers at China.
We should have
Quick. Yes. You know, I'm getting a message to my, they got Drag Race tea to spill. Well, honey, you got to spill it another time because I'm filming. But anyway, oh, I can't hear you. Your audio is off. But yeah, so she said some Wuhan China virus. It was effective. Now she's issued an apology because John Oliver called her out on this past Sunday's episode of Last Week Tonight. I love his show, by the way, because he just, I always love when people from outside can look in and see how our country is. Just like UK is just as flawed as the US with their parliament and all that other stuff. The View co-host has issued an apology for any past statements that may have fueled hate towards Asian Americans. Now, this came after John Oliver called her out by name on HBO's Last Week Tonight for remarks made in 2020 pertaining to COVID. He said, Meghan condemns the reprehensible violence and vitriol that has been targeted towards the Asian American community. McCain's representative told EW in a statement, yeah, okay, girl. There is no doubt Donald Trump's racist rhetoric fueled many of these attacks, and she apologized for any past comments that aided to that agenda. Now, I feel like, now they said that in the light of the recent shooting in Atlanta that left 8 dead, McCain had tweeted a graphic on Twitter in support of Asian Americans that read, "Stop Asian Hate." Now, this prompted Oliver to feature her on Last Week's Tonight segment on the rise of violence towards Asian Americans. Now, in case y'all haven't been aware, this violence has been on the rise since Trump started his whole rhetoric against Asian Americans. And they also tried it in social media by trying to equate it like it was Black people that was going around attacking Asian people. Because I would always see pictures of, in New York particularly, there would always be some young Black person attacking some elderly Asian person. That may be so in some cases, but the mass shootings usually always happens domestic terrorism, racist ass white people who sit and want to bring up the fact that he had sexual urges that he couldn't control. What is a such thing as a therapist? You could have went to seek some medical attention for whatever mental issues you may have had. And I'm tired of white people always trying to use the mental health narrative when it comes to issues pertaining to sex or whatever the case, or they can't control their urges. We also need to bring up the fact that, Asian people have often been sexually fetishized by people since, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, Broadway musicals like Miss Saigon. What was the other movie that came out where John Lone, I believe, played Madame Butterfly? Like, there's been so many where he played a woman. There Madame Butterfly. There's so many different films where we have white people who fetishize Asians, and then since the war and that sort of thing. So there's no shortage of dicks. Oh, did you see the meme that I sent you about Joy with the resting bitch face? But anyway, yeah, so she posted that Stop Asian Hate thing, and they got her ass together with that. She also posted something today about qualifications, and I think it was the topic, because I didn't see the view today, so maybe you could fill me in on it, the context of it. But I did see a little clip that was sent to me by EJ this morning, or was it DJ? It was one. We have a group chat that we send stuff to about stuff, and there was a video, a little short video where Sunny got her ass together. But Nutmeg basically was talking about qualifications and what Democrats need to do in regards to qualifications. I'm like, bitch, we're not taking advice from your ass. especially what qualifications do you have to even talk politics except for the fact that you are John McCain's daughter? You have no real qualifications. You've never had to work hard for anything in your life. When you look at, excuse me, people who had to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and make something of themselves, I look at Whoopi Goldberg, who started out in the projects in Chelsea, Chelsea, Manhattan, who went from being a poor woman on welfare to being like an Oscar-winning movie star. But you look at someone like Sunny Hostin, where I listened to her book. She came up in the Bronx, and all the stuff that she dealt with become like this high-profile lawyer and became like a big TV personality. You look at Joy. Joy Behar went through a lot, in her, when she reached 40, she pursued a career as a comic and then became on The View and then all these other things that transpired with her career. I'm not sure necessarily about Sarah's life. I don't know much about her background, but I'm sure. Well, she comes from the Midwest, came over to New York, and she's been with ABC and a TV personality and stuff. But Nutmeg McCain comes from, was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. She has no real qualifications. So when you look at someone as to the type of person that pull themselves up by their bootstraps, I look at these other women. I don't look at a Nutmeg McCain. So for her to even open her mouth to speak on issues regarding pulling yourself up by your bootstraps or qualifications for a job, you can never speak on that issue. And it's funny how, as usual, she is completely oblivious and culturally clueless when it comes to these type of issues. She just speaks on shit like she just, not even aware that she just opening up this Pandora's box to just be read for filth. That's all. So I don't know. What do you have to say about it? In regards to her apology, I call bullshit. To me, on one hand, I give it up to her. Unlike Piers Morgan and unlike the other one, Sharon, who's asking to be fired from the talk, clearly, she apologized at least. But that was probably just to save her job. Do I believe the apology? I feel like based on the topic when they talked about Nick Cannon, where he made derogatory comments towards the Jewish community, apologies are meaningless. I feel like acknowledge the apology, say you're sorry, but now do the work. And now it all falls into what work is she planning on doing to make up for a lot of the shit that she said. Because you know what, she just all of a sudden, and then I don't know if you caught this, remember she said she realized how bad it was, well, in so many words, racism with the whole George Floyd thing. So it took George Floyd and Black Lives Matter and everything that was going on for you to realize that Black people were being, murdered by the police and all these other things. It took that moment for you to wake the fuck up and realize, oh, this is something I can't ignore no more. So now we have an issue going on with white people and, Karens and cans going around using this certain dog whistle that Trump was doing since the beginning of his campaign. Not even that. Let's take it back to the days of the the Central Park Five. We could take it way back to that part. And see how, this man has used dog whistles towards people of color and Black people. We try to get them murdered. So for her to all of a sudden have this revelation because Sonny had ever a conversation with her, or because you were stuck in the house with an asshole of a husband and a baby, for you to realize that racism is an issue in America is like typical Karen. If it doesn't affect them, if it doesn't rock their boat, they don't give a damn. So I don't know. What do you have to say about all this? Oh, your mic is off.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100%. I think that she got what she deserved. I put this question in the lower third here. You guys could tweet us your thoughts. But I think that it's time that The View do what they have to do. Excuse me, ABC 7. Like I said in the Trending Stories narration, I don't think they have the balls to do so. But you bring up Sharon and CBS, and I think we give everyone, we should give some context here, because we heard what she said. You guys heard, she compares the China virus, and even though people want to compare oranges and apples here, I do think they both equivalate, her and Sharon. However, Sharon words did not cause the death of people. Meghan Markle got away, and thank God she's getting the help and support. And in Nutmeg situation, her rhetoric actually killed people. That's my opinion. And they're both horrific things to do, which is why they're similar. But one network is ready to pull the plug, and and the other network just brought it back like nothing happened. And speaking of that, we have the latest on Sharon. But before we get to that, let's take a look at what she did, and then look at the comparison.
Well, they didn't even acknowledge the fact that this happened with Nutmeg McCain. She sent it out through a representative. I feel like what should have happened is that y'all talk about everything else. Why not address it on The View? Y'all be having Joy Behar apologize over shit she says during the commercial break. Or not even during the commercial, when they come back from break, y'all if she says something out of pocket, y'all have her come on TV and apologize. You have Whoopi apologize if she makes a mistake. All the other people got to come on TV and apologize. Why this bitch, y'all just ABC continue to protect this woman, and she gets to just say and do whatever without no consequence? And to me, it's like, maybe they're not coming at her because, you know what, every episode, the fans are on social media asking for her to get fired. So maybe ABC is just on deaf's ear about it. And to me, it's like, with all the controversies surrounding ABC, with The Bachelor and everything else going on, I'm surprised that they think that this is not going to gain any traction. Maybe they just feel like it's just going to be business as usual. They thrive on the hashtag The View. And if I see The View trending on Twitter, I already know it's about Nutmeg McCain. I automatically know it. I click on it and I see the whole timeline is about dragging her ass either over her My Little Pony hairdos, her Princess Leia buns, whatever, her trying to look like the reject of Queen Amidala and Lady Gaga. They always talk about her new makeup look, her hair, whatever the case is. The gays are pretty much mad at her. That's why they just keep experimenting with her looks. So I don't understand how. I just, at this point, I just feel like maybe the only way that we can get rid of her, y'all got to stop watching the show. Like, y'all keep asking for her to get fired. It's not going to happen. And so I'm checking one out.
I agree. And I also think that, like, because you always say that too. Like, it's, and I think I said it in the narration of the trending stories. Like, it's the hate watch that that we like to do, and they got that down to a science. And unfortunately, as annoying as it is, like, that's what we as viewers, we do. We're caught in this conundrum where portion of people are hate watching and others are just watching. People like people who are not on a timeline like that, because you have a balance on there. You have people who just tune in depending who they have on, and then you have people who watch religiously and who deal with her mouth on a 24/7 basis. And as annoying as it is, like, you're right, this is what they're banking on, this is what they're relying on to stay relevant. And believe it or not, it's in the contract. It's without a fact that it's in the contract that this is what they are doing with her. Like, the difference between her and Sharon, that I believe it's in her contract, and Sharon, that I believe the network was trying to do everything to get rid of her. I don't think ABC wants to get rid of her because she is the money and Brian is her producer. So I think she has more pull on the show than we think. And I think, as in Sharon has more, how can I say, Sharon has more of, well, actually, you know what? Not even they're both. ABC and CBS both put themselves in this situation.
Yeah.
One is pulling the trigger.
I was about to correct you on that. Like, I feel like, I agree with the majority of what you said, but I have to say this. Sharon, it was all good for CBS for Sharon to be controversial and stuff, because that brought in the little ratings that they was getting. Like, but quiet as it's kept, nobody's watching the talk anymore. It's one of the lowest rated shows on it now. But because of all the controversy, now you're being talked about. It's trending, whatever the case is. But Sharon was being problematic and saying all kinds of off the cuff stuff for years. And CBS loved it. CBS had no problem with it. But now, because it's costing them money and the situation, that tea has gotten too piping hot. Now they want to push her out. So it's kind of like what I said before, is that you let the child act like a brat, get to run around, tear down the curtains, destroy the property, do it's all cute and everything for now. But then when all of a sudden it's not cute no more and you're a little too old to be doing this foolishness, then you want to come and chastise the child for getting away after you've let them get away with doing what they've been doing for so long. So
yeah, well, like I said, one of them is doing what they got to do, and the other one is still pussyfooting around. I'm just glad that CBS decided to do what they had to do. And for those that forgot, take a look.
And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me.
So that was basically what happened on the talk. A little bit of that in a nutshell. But yeah, so Sharon, she attacked a black woman on air. Yes, Nutmeg did not attack a black woman on air, and that's subjective because we could go in many clips. However, I just think, like I said, people died, and I think when stuff like that happens, like, the games and jokes are over, like, because to them it's always a laughing situation till someone gets hurt, and the person that gets hurt is always us on our side, like an American, like somebody who's on the opposing side of the threats, like. And she's speaking propaganda, like each and every day she gets on there and protests her propaganda, and like we know it because her husband is a part of the other side of the bully pulpit, like, so this is her job, it's in her contract. They wanted someone just like her. She is the punching bag of the right, and that's where, like, yes, the people in power, they hate her father. We know who her father was. Yes, he's an American war hero, but in his political acumen, the man done a lot of things that's against progress, which is what we call in this country racism. And he tried to stop Martin Luther King from being a holiday. That's all I need to say right there. Racism. And so she is rooted in this. Her grandparents were slave owners, so she is a Confederate daughter, and that's why she is the way she is, and she's okay with that. And clearly so is The View. And I just don't know personally, like, when is enough, and clearly they're not ready to make that pull until, like you said, because it's not going to stop. They're going to continue to demand it, and until it gets to that point, until advertisers start pulling up. Right now, this is not a serious situation where you got Pampers and all the the women healthcare companies and stuff pulling out, because that's predominantly who watch The View. Women, gay men. We just came into the show. Just came into the show. We are a part of the fan base, but we're not the majority. The majority of the show is women. From certain age brackets, and the gays chime in there. And stuff, but they know who they're marketing to. She's speaking to the white grievance of America. There's 74 million people who are home grieving, probably watching this damn episode pissed off, and that's who she's speaking to, the white grievance of this country. And what I'm not going to stand for,
what they got to be mad about.
Thank you. What I'm not going to stand for is the fact that, like I said, people died. And we're about to get to this, the hashtag stop AAPI hate, going on with the celebrities and stuff. So it's all connecting. And right now, the Pandora's box is open. And, the FBI is investigating. The FBI is investigating the insurrection. They're tying it to the rhetoric from the president. And now you have the rhetoric of the president reaching all the way to The View, from his mouth to Nutmeg McCain's mouth. So what do you say to that? She's being fed this propaganda, and the FBI has already confirmed that the propaganda has come from Russia. So who works for Russia? That's what I want to know, because that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm past all this. People died, and clearly you connect her rhetoric. It goes back to the president, and from the orange, deranged, former disgraced, twice impeached president, all the way to Russia. So it's like, it's deeper than this. And I guess ABC is waiting for her name to be tied into this investigation, or her husband. I don't know. But, when there's smoke, there's fire. And she did not take a day off. And then, like I told DJ, my partner, I told DJ, I said, who takes the day off? Who takes the day off to apologize? Somebody who did something wrong. So it's like, come on. Here you got the talk. They haven't came back yet. Sharon apologized. She may have not named Cheryl in the statement. She apologized. Who does that? ABC. They need to be held accountable. And us, the people watching, they have to punish them, like you said, by not watching, which is not going to happen. So
Nope.
There you go.
Because people are hate watching. But honey, before we get to this next topic, I got some exclusive Drag Race tea, bitch.
You want to get in the tea anyway. Go ahead.
So I just want to say this. So I'm not going to say much, but all I know is, the finale is coming up soon. And which is around the time that I'm going to be launching another show that I'm going to be doing with Lindsay Aguilera and Remy Moreno. I don't know, he's probably going to get mad for me saying his last name. But, Remy and Lindsay, we're going to be doing a show sometime in like the first week of May or maybe even earlier than that. We're still trying to work out the kinks because we had a little meeting about it the other day. But the girls apparently are filming lip sync videos for their finale. All of them. So that's just a little inside tea. Some of them are filming as we speak, as this episode is filming. That's a little exclusive of the, a little exclusive Drag Race tea. I can't tell you much more than that because then they'll have to kill me. But yeah, I just want to put that out there. Okay, back to the show. What is going on? And what is that music in the background? Are you there? What happened?
I'm here.
Oh. I don't see you. Oh, are we done with the whole Sharon Osbourne situation? Because I'm like, I'm over her.
We are done with the Sharon. We're gonna get to the last topic on our trending story here, which is the stop the AAPI hate. As I mentioned, there was celebrities coming out to stand up for the AAPI community. And those that don't know, AAPI stands for Asian American and Pacific Islanders of this country that we call America. And we had the one and only Sandra Oh, who was nominated for a Golden Globe. Did the Golden Globes happen? Oh, yes, they did. Okay. Well, I don't think she won. But she's back on the scene and standing up for what is right. And I thought we shared this clip.
I am proud to be Asian.
That was it?
Yeah, I think that clip says it all. We went out there, and that was one of the most poignant clips that I think, because it's very rare we hear it's Black Lives Matter, and not that take anything away from it. They're both real issues, but this is their moment. This is the AAPI community. This is their moment. This is their moment to reach the mountaintop that we are still climbing. We are way advanced than they are as far as Black Lives Matter, but they still don't have the and neither do we. Neither one of us have the power in the media zygote to say, to put this on the forefront, to have this play every day, such as they do with the like I just mentioned about the FBI and insurrection and all these cases you're hearing coming up every day. Like we don't have power in the media, and that's something that we have to continue to work on. I'm reading this really excellent book by Tiffany Cross, and it's basically about saving democracy by having more Black equity in media. And I'm trying to pull it up, but yeah, and so when I saw that, I was like, you know what? Here's someone in Hollywood who, Hollywood gets a bad rap, and it's called Say It Louder. There you go, Tiffany Cross. She has a show at MSNBC, one of the first Black women Joy was the first one to leave. She replaced Joy. Joy had the show on the weekends, Joy Reid. Now Joy is on Monday, every day, 7 p.m. MSNBC, and the first Black woman to anchor a primetime slot, political news show. And then Tiffany Cross took over the the show, and now she's the second woman to hold that anchor, African American. And you also have on Sundays, you have Jonathan Capehart, who's the first Black LGBT talk show host on Sundays, giving political commentary.
Good.
Yes, it's fascinating stuff that's happening in the world. So yeah, and when I saw that, I just, you know, and they came on the shows and they said the exact same thing. Like, we need more representation of us, of who we are as AAPI people, because the conversation is so inundating, like, you know. And you know, Black Lives Matter, you know, 5 years ago, Black Lives Matter was looked at as a mob, you know, and in some areas in this country it still is. And you know, so they're gonna go through the same things, you know. And one thing I was talking to DJ about was about, like, just all of us, you know, because there's a lot of people on social media, oh, welcome to the party, blah blah blah, and that's all, you know, fair to say, but I don't think it should be said. But I'm just one person, but because when you say that, it's to say that they weren't there. There were Asian people at Black Lives Matter rallies, you know. They weren't the whole slew of them. I
agree. We can't lump everybody in one big brush, because I remember I saw there was a friend of mine who only pops up on Facebook whenever he wants to spew anything about white people persecuting Black folks or race mixing. It's like, girl, do you have any other topic to talk about besides race? But nevertheless, he brought up the fact that Asian people haven't necessarily been too kind to the Black community. When you had the girl who, the Asian guy in the store, thought that she was stealing a drink, and then they shot her, and that's what, you know, these are rare cases. Yes, there are racist people or prejudiced people in every demographic. There are prejudiced Black folk, there are prejudiced Asian folk, there are prejudiced Latinos. Don't get me started on that whole, the whole colorism rooted thing where Asian people feel like, oh, you know, if I align myself, or people of color in general, when you align yourself with white national beliefs, stuff that was brought over, first of all, to brainwash a lot of y'all, starting with the Bible. Don't even get me started on that shit, where a lot of these things were kept as separate to keep the infighting and all other stuff. People start to believe in that sort of thing. So we can't necessarily... Oh, did I freeze? I think I froze.
You froze? No, you didn't.
Come on.
I don't think you froze. Can you hear me? Oh, probably not.
Oh, I see me now. So yeah, I see Olivia Munn, and oh my God, you know I love me some Daniel Day Kim. That man, child, he could sit on my face anytime, bitch. But here's the thing, yeah, I have always had the biggest crush on Daniel Day. I love Asian men, and I know y'all want to come out your face. I'm not fetishizing. First of all, I'm a part of the Pacific Islander community. I am part Filipino. So for those of y'all who did not know that. I also should point out that I know I saw a tweet or something or another where someone was saying something. Damn, I wish I would have saved it. I'll see if you want to talk about it if I go find it, because I think I still have it. But there was someone that alluded to the fact that Asians and Pacific Islanders should not be lumped into one sum when it comes to this sort of situation. Like, there are a lot of Asian people that are being persecuted, but I don't think people who are of Pacific Islander descent are. I don't know. I have to find that meme because I believe I have it somewhere in my phone. But I don't know. You have anything to add to that?
Well, at the moment, no. I just, like I said, they're coming out right now, the celebrities for the community, and I agree with you. Daniel Day Kim is definitely a good looking
snack.
Man, Hanny. A snack, yes. This is here that says here racism is Asians are not
the viruses. Racism is. Mm-hmm. So I found. Wait, hold on. I found the tweet. It's from a girl by the name of Asia Jackson. Said AAPI is not a more politically correct way of saying Asian American. Asian American and Pacific Islander are two different identities. If you are referring specifically to attacks against Asians, it's okay to just say Asian. So yeah, because like I said, like for you to like not you, but when people go AAPI, you're basically saying that Asians and Pacific Islanders are being attacked by a lot of this rhetoric. When a lot of times it could be Koreans, it could be Chinese, it could be Japanese, it could be people from Thailand, it could be people from the Philippines. Like you can't lump everybody. It's like basically you're saying like all Asians, you know, like they say, well, black people look alike. So there was another thing that I saw where they were talking about that someone asked the question, what are black people going to do to help heal this situation with Asian people? First of all, what do black people have to do with this situation? Why we got to come in and handle a situation when the real tea is white, racist, fucking nationalist people, homegrown terrorists who are mad because the world is changing at a fast pace and they crack asses can't handle it? Why are we having to come in and help the situation when y'all need to just stop being racist? How about that?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say this is one Asian that I would like to see, honey.
Yes, from Riverdale, bitch.
Yeah. Charles Melton. So no, I listen. I think that's double folded. I get what you're saying, and you know, and like I said just earlier, like you know, Black Lives Matter. Years ago, we were looked as, you know, a mob. Some people still do look at us like that. But the percentage of this country has grown to understand, and specifically after George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, the list goes on and on. Ahmaud Arbery, like so, you know, it's just it continues, and you know, so now that we have these you know Asian victims' name. And you know, and I also understand what you said about the situation with the AAPI, you know, and that's really a preference, you know. I mean, to be respectful, I just include the entire culture in it because you know that's what everyone else is saying. But if you are of that culture, then people feel how they feel. Just like some people don't like to be called black. But again, that's a preference. It's not.
We call African American. I'm like, child, I wasn't born in goddamn Africa, so I'm not African American. The only person I know, okay, that would be African American would be Charlize Theron because she's born in South Africa and now she's over in America. So if you got your green card, you are a citizen. You are African American. I was not born in Africa, therefore I'm not African American. I just don't like the term because it just feels too politically correct for me. So if you want to say black, Asian, whatever the case is, I don't like when people say Oriental. First of all, bitch, I'm not a goddamn carpet. So I'm not an Oriental rug. Don't say that. Yeah. But yeah.
I just want to say also to let me turn this up. So shout out to NBC Asian America for this one. The names of the people who have passed. And I go by the names here. Soon C Park, age 74. Huyan J Grant, age 51. Suncha Kim, age 69. Young A Yue, age 63. Delana Ashley Yon, age 33. Paul Andre Michaels, age 54. Sojai Tan, age 49. Dayu Fang, age 44. May you all rest in peace. Yeah, so this is something that's not going to go away right now. On the political side, you have the Democrats scrummaging up to get some gun rights lobbying and legislation going on right now. And you have the Republicans using this as a way to get more guns and so forth. So, you know, on one hand, the situation continues. On the other hand, you know, you have people actively trying to do something, but it's when we talk about politics and this whole socioeconomic and sociopolitical situation, like it's really interesting because it's really a matter of Congress, like, you know, and right now you got everyone jumping the gun. You got Joe Manchin jumping in, and now Joe Manchin wants to go and put his legislation down here again for gun rights like he did with Obama. And when he did that, guess what? Nothing happened. So here we go again, where he wants to be bipartisan, and we know what the other side, we just spoke about Nutmeg and the Republicans and Trump connected to Russia, all this stuff. So we know what the other side is. They're a bunch of insurrectionists.
Maybe they got to stop being bipartisan and just be like, put your foot down, like, bitch, we're just going regular regulate these goddamn guns. Like maybe that's what you just need to do.
Well, until we find a way around Joe Manchin in the filibuster, either we break it or we work around it, which means we reform it with language and make it less difficult than it is, because that's the problem. We get to the Senate and we get hit with the hurdle. You got turtleneck McConnell sitting there saying there's gonna be a scorching on the earth or whatever. Like, so there are people who are, he's not afraid to say where his stance is. Like they're against democracy, and we the people have to, back to your statement about what can Black people do, we the people have to stand together with the AAPI, the entire, and yes, Pacific Islanders, our Native Americans, they are a part of this. Our Vice President, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris is AAPI, and that's why it is, that's a big fervent type of language we're using now, because we are a diverse melting pot of a country. And you're absolutely right. The why people are over there crying and grieving over a country that's been changing since the founding of the country. The minute you brought slaves here, the country was changing. So, but that's a whole nother conversation and too much for them to digest. And fast forward, hundreds of years later, 2021, they are terrified of reality, but that's not our fault. It's not our fault. We didn't ask to come here. We're just living in it, and unfortunately, we have to continue the work to get where we have to go. I hate it too. I wish we can just sit there, F them, screw the Republicans, but we can't until we get more people, more progressives, preferably more progressives in power in Congress, electing better people. Then we can get, or like I said, or the people we got now reform the filibuster. And I know I don't want to get too political, but if you guys want to know more, you can follow me on my show, Host Chat Live. This coming Saturday, we're going to talk more about this, and also the voting rights and immigration, all that stuff we're going to talk about Saturday, because there's a lot happening that connects to a lot of shows clearly are trying to include the socio-political conversations, just like The Talk tried to do, and it failed. Well, for one person, and The View, obviously, you guys know. But that wraps up our trending stories here, guys. Once again, we want to give our condolences to the entire families affected, all the families affected. This is not the last we're going to have this conversation, I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to get probably more. Unfortunately, this is just reality. It's going to get more worse than it get better. But as the campaign says, it gets better eventually. So, and this is just a reality. There are more guns than people, and this is not that kind of show to we were happy entertainment show, but this is the reality we're all living in. We try to bring a balance. We try to bring some substantive conversations here where you can leave and say, I actually learned something, and also actually laugh and kiki, and that's just the reality, guys. Until we do something with the gun legislation, there are more guns than people. I want everyone to sit there and take that in. You have 330 million Americans, 330 million Americans in this country, and we have more guns than people. That is fascinating when you think about that, and that's why we need to do something. So that's all I have to say on that. And like I said, in peace to the people who were killed.
Okay, so moving right along, because that political thing went along a little long. But it is what it is. It's like you said, balance. Let's talk about Dwayne Wade and Ms. Bussy. So Dwayne is thankful for the comments Ms. Bussy and a few others have made about his trans daughter Zaya Wade. Now, nearly a year after the rapper shared his opinion about his child, the NBA star has addressed it for the first time while discussing his unconditional support for Zaya's decision. So now last year, in case y'all need a refresher, Miss Bussy, because I don't call him Boosie Badass, I call him Miss Bussy, because he has a big old vagina, found himself facing backlash for some insensitive and transphobic comments he made about Dwayne Wade's trans daughter. Now, Bussy's remarks not only led to public scrutiny, but it also ended up getting him banned from his local Planet Fitness, the Ghetto. First of all, if you were supposed to be a man with a whole lot of money, you can't afford a membership to Equinox or even whatever, I was going to say New York Sports Club, but if you're not in New York, then you can't go to a New York Sports Club. Equinox is like the most expensive one, I think. You're doing a Planet Fitness, which is $10 a month. Ciao. It's probably how much you pay for that hookup for your 12-year-old. Now, nearly a year later, Wade has directly responded to Ms. Bussy's comments, saying that they were able to spark positive and necessary conversations about trans rights. Now, Wade recently sat down for a lengthy conversation on the I Am Athlete podcast. Throughout the interview, Wade opened up about the effects of toxic masculinity and the strength his daughter Zaya showed in coming out as trans. Now, Wade said that as soon as his daughter came out, he was committed to learning as much as possible about trans rights so that he could facilitate a happy and healthy life for her. The basketball player also addressed all the transphobic comments that were being thrown around after news broke of his daughter's identity. Now, name dropping Ms. Bussy, Wade said that the rapper's comments were a way of bringing important conversations into the limelight. Bussy, all the people who've got something to say about my kids, I thank you because you allowed the conversation to keep going forward. You might not have the answer today. I don't have all the answers, but we're growing from all these conversations. I thank everybody for even hating and starting those conversations, because those conversations are starting over conversations that we need to have. He also went on to say, because I got a lot to say on this, child. He also said that he also described the moment he knew he needed to educate himself about trans rights in order to support his daughter, by saying, I'm looking at my child, scared to tell me, and I feel like I'm pretty open at this time. I realized that I need to do better, and I need to do more, and I need to educate myself. So what I did is I picked up the phone and I researched as much as I can because I needed to understand. I sat down with my child and I asked questions because I didn't know. He says, it's our job and our responsibility to tell you who you are. Oh, sorry, it's not our job and responsibility to tell you who you are. Because I was like, wait a minute now. I read that wrong. You're going to be who you're going to be. It's my job to put you in the best position to reach that goal of who you want to be. Right now, we're experiencing that with Zaya. Last year, we came out and we spoke to the world that, hey, my 13-year-old came home and said, Dad, this is who I am. I'm a transgender child. We didn't come out until she was 12 to the world. But the reason why we came out to the world was because I got tired of trying to hide my child. It came to the point where I said, am I hiding her from it, or am I hiding myself from it? So for those of y'all who are wondering why he posted his stuff about his daughter on social media and this, that, and the third, that is why. He's like, because I want to show that I am showing nothing but unconditional love for my child 1,000%. Also, I saw this article that I sent in the group chat from them.us that Dwayne says that watching Pose changed his daughter Zaya's life. Well, honey, it changed a lot of people's life, including mine. Like I told y'all, I am a child who grew up, didn't necessarily compete in balls. I wasn't a part of a ball. I know a lot of children who are from houses. I know a lot of extravaganzas. I know a lot of ninjas. I know a lot of Aviances. Shout out to my Aviance family. And, you know, my name is Chris Avalon. I'm not from the House of Avalon, but first of all, I had that name before the House of Avalon became a thing, but that's a whole other conversation. And I've gotten to hang out with them when I was in LA. So this is no shade to them and the people of their family, particularly Simone Ye, who is competing on this season's Drag Race. But I will say that, yeah, that's my cousin, girl. Simone Ye is my cousin in the House of Avalon. But anyway, I will say that, you know what, Pose is definitely a show that is a teachable moment. One of the particular things I would love for more men to do is to be more like Lil Poppy. Lil Poppy is someone who is a heterosexual guy who, yes, he said in the episode of season 2 that he was let guys suck his dick for money. But he wasn't gay, but he unconditionally loves his trans girlfriend, Angel, played by Miss India Moore, we have a whole thing on her later on the show. So I want to applaud him for this, because this is definitely like all these people who are hating from him and Little Mama with her strong ass jawline. We're going to get into about that man looking bitch in a minute. Everybody having an opinion on a trans child saying, oh, well, y'all out here supporting these children, cutting off their stuff. First of all, like Dwayne Wade said, educate yourself on trans issues before you speak on it. When you have people like a Miss Bussy, when you have, I don't know who else, 50 Cent may have said something or another, you know, you have all these black men coming out saying all kinds of stuff about this child like they know her. Educate yourself on trans issues before y'all come out with your toxic masculinity bullshit and speaking on something you know nothing about. And if you don't know nothing about it, shut the fuck up. Like, don't speak on issues that have nothing to do with you. Raise your own goddamn kids the way you want to. Yeah, have your child mentally traumatized because you having him fucked at 12 years old, a grown ass woman, because you don't want him to turn out gay. Like, that's ever stopped anybody. Gay is, you can't stop someone from being a homosexual, this, that, and the other. And then, how does child know at a certain age that they're trans? Just like I knew when I was very young, when I was like, in fourth grade, and I was daring boys to pull their penises out in class. I knew I liked boys since I was a little kid. So just like I knew I was gay, didn't have the words or the vernacular to put everything together to even call it what it was, until, I was called faggot and all this other stuff by other boys, and me feeling some sense of shame because that word stung and the tone of it made me kind of shy away. And then you have to like butcher yourself up. There's a whole lot of stuff that you go through as a gay guy, especially growing up in the hood, where you have to try to perpetuate certain masculine tropes so that way you fit in and you don't get beat up and you don't have deal with these sort of things. I'm so glad I grew up in an era where there wasn't no cameras and social media, because I cannot imagine what these kids are going through. And my thing is this, and then I'll, bring EJ in on his opinion. If Dwayne and Gabrielle and Zaya's biological mother, because I don't know what's going on with her. Like, she's not really speaking on it. If they're okay with Zaya and they're supportive of her, and she said it's okay for you to speak on me and me be this poster child to start a dialogue on, especially since we don't have any trans children of color that is some kind of representation to have this conversation. The only child I knew about was Jazz Jennings, from the whole era of the I Am Jazz, and then when she went on Oprah way long before the reality show, and she spoke about her experience, and we got to see her life unfold and all the transphobic hate that she was getting. So I like this conversation we're having, because Black people, we don't want to, growing up Black, you don't want to talk about nothing. You don't want to talk about sexual abuse. You want to talk about molestation. You don't want to talk about rape. You don't want to talk about racism. Oh, we talking about it now, but we don't want to talk about things that are deemed taboo. We don't want to talk about gay people. We like to whisper and make little comments, but we don't want to talk about the elephants in the room. We like to brush it under the rug and act like it don't exist. So kudos to someone like Dwayne Wade, who has taken it upon himself to love on his child, to support his child, because not a lot of people have that luxury and end up either committing suicide or, whatever. Like, or they end up homeless on the streets, prostitute, and try to make ends meet, and then they wind up, God forbid, we hear so many stories about trans people getting killed. So kudos to Dwayne and Zaya and all that good stuff. And I don't know, EJ, if you want to give your opinion on this topic, because it does not make sense to take a break in the middle of a topic.
Well, that's what we're gonna do. I feel I'm proud of Dwayne Wade. I'm proud of Zaya Wade, of living in their truths, and I'm glad that a show like Pose can continue to bring in the conversation. And I pray for people, a lot of young transgendered children coming up. The world is a cruel place, and I think as gay men and lesbians and bisexuals, we don't necessarily know ever what it's like to live in those shoes. However, we all been bullied once or twice, and that is the sentiment and the consensus that we all get from these conversations is bullying and transphobic and all that stuff. And so I have the utmost respect for trans brothers and sisters. And I think what Dwayne Wade is doing is will hopefully push the conversation forward. Someone like him and LeBron has a lot of clout with their fan base, and hopefully people are just trying to educate themselves, because that's all we can do is educate and continue to love one another, including our children. And unfortunately, we let the Bible and rhetoric distort our mental psychosis of it all, like our mental psyche, where we let that get in the way of loving our own child. You hear some of these stories where, a lot of young kids like Zaya don't get this opportunity to have families that love each other and understand. And I think that's why you get so many people of clapping back in their own way and saying the most disgusting things, and they don't care. It's just how they feel because, when even if you want to say, well, Boosie must be gay or whatever, because most of the times people who are the most transphobic or homophobic, they tend to be down low, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I think it comes from the upbringing, and as you said, like Black people, we don't like to talk about it, we like to sweep it under the rug. And if you're a Black man, you got to be tough and not show emotions. And Zaya was Zion, and now she's transitioning into Zaya Wade, and that's a problem for people, specifically with the age gap. However, there are younger trans children than that. Even on the sports that I cover, professional wrestling, we just had a transgender wrestler from male to female. Now he's transitioned into a female by the name of Gabby now, and she's getting a lot of flack from the wrestling community. She got support, but then there's the flack, because even though she's a grown woman, waited until 40s and well enough in a grown adult, didn't wait to Caitlyn age, but regardless, grown adult and still getting hate. So it doesn't matter what you do, Chris. It's just you got to live your life, and like I said, they're living by their truth, and I feel sorry for Boosie children. That's all I'll say.
I sure do too, because them children gonna end up on. I was gonna say they're gonna probably call y'all to fix their life off camera, of course, because she done canceled doing
right.
Y'all fix my life. So
she tired of games, honey. She tired of the games.
These children need to, these grown ass people need to be out here focused on their own damn kids and not worry about how other people raising their child. Zaya has some loving parents who have her back, who are supporting her, were smart enough to be like, you know what, I need to educate. Like, I'm a pretty open-minded person. I want my kids to come to me and talk to me about anything. My mother even said that to me. Like, I want to leave it open where my kids can come to me and tell me anything they need to tell me, and I can be there to support them. As long as you're not here killing nobody, as long as you're not robbing no bank, I, will love you unconditionally. And we need more people out there, my parents and like Zaya and her parents that are unconditionally supporting their parents. Now, yeah, they're posting stuff on social media. You leaving yourself open for script? No, we're trying to show that there is a place for kids who are feeling lost and alone. They're saying that, you know what, you're not alone in this. We want to support you. We want to, we got your back. We're not here for the negatives, the people that want to come out here and talk about that's a man and this and I'm like, I was reading that when on the Tamara Hall thing when she was interviewing Angelica Ross, the amount of transphobic comments that was in there, I wanted to dive and slap the shit out of everybody that was leaving a comment. It's like,
wow.
First of all, it's not a man. If she said she's a woman, she's a fucking woman, and you would never say that shit to her face.
Thank you.
So yeah. But speaking of which, since we talking about Miss Bussy and Dwayne, are we gonna talk about Lil Mama and Jackie?
Okay.
So yeah. So because then we can go into, like we said, then we can do that, then we'll do the fashion roundup, and then we'll go into a break. But let's just continue as we said, because I saw the comment. But anyway, so yeah, Lil Mama basically, I mentioned earlier, she made some she made some stupid comments, but I'm not even gonna read it here because I could give a damn. She made some comments about Zaya Wade and like trans children and stuff. Like, she even knows what she's about. I mean, quiet as it's kept, she does look like she's in the process of transitioning her damn self. But Jackie Harry went and got herself all the way together on social media, talking about your lip gloss ain't never been popping. I mean, girl, your lip gloss ain't been popping since you put that goddamn song out. But so hold on as I try to bring up this story, because my computer is doing a little pausation situation.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. But yeah, so Little Mama went and said some disrespectful ass stuff to her. Why is this computer acting a damn fool?
Oh, no, honey.
Okay, so now here it is. They said comments from the MC came after Harry posted a series of tweets that Little Mama took personally. Well, what else she got to do? I mean, this girl always interjecting herself in shit that is not even her place to inject herself in. She injected herself on stage at the VMAs when they were doing New York Concrete Jungle where Dreams Are Made Of, where it was Alicia Keys and Jay-Z up there performing. This little heifer decided to jump on stage posing like, bitch, why are you up here? Like, nobody asked you to come up on stage. Like, call security. Security. Anyway, now as news of Mama's comments circulated online, the Emmy-winning actress and 227 star and gainfully unemployed actress, because she's currently on Days of Our Lives, while Little Mama is scrapping for crumbs somewhere. She can't, I don't know if she on food stamps, but I wouldn't be surprised if she is. The Emmy-winning actress and 227 star wrote in regards to the rapper, the lip gloss was never really that popping. Harry later tweeted, be true to yourself. You were made perfectly. I love you for who you are, with a rainbow emoji. Now, Lil Mama, who first gained notoriety with her one hit called Lip Gloss, reposted a screenshot of Harry's tweets to her Instagram story and claimed that the veteran actress blocked her. Why would I block your ugly ass too? Thought you was a sister, more like a sister act. Well, first of all, I love that show and I love the movie, so you tried it. That's the problem now. These new young girls don't disrespect y'all old bitches. First of all, you are 32 years old. Ain't shit young about your ass. Why? Because y'all don't reach out and provide genuine counsel. You play these internet childish games and end up in a childish mix. Where are our role models? Because I'm tired of y'all old Hollywood bullshit. Kiss my ass, Jackie. Wait, first of all, you spelled Jack Hayes' name wrong. She put Jackie.
Wait, she put that? Kiss my, you know what?
Yeah, and then talking about where the role models. Oh, I'm sorry, your role model, aka your mama's dead. So that's why you bad.
Yes.
No. Look, bitch, want to drag the transcript? I'm gonna drag her.
Oh
yeah, the lips are still the lips are still quite chapped.
Okay.
Get her some get her
not popping, honey.
Yeah, get that bitch some Visine. Or some Vaseline.
This is some of the most disrespectful stuff I've ever seen. Little Mama, she needs help. Clearly, she's just like Stacey Dash. They're trying to find their place in all this Joe Biden and Kamala Shamala Harris. The movement that we got going on, and just like the wild people, they are just losing their mind with their grievance. You got white grievance and black grievance, and unfortunately, the black grievance, and this is why I go back to the whole Jussie Smollett situation every time, because the gays are always disposable to y'all, right? It's always sit there. So it's basically, obviously, she's coming towards anything other than hetero, right? With the heterosexual, what was she doing? A campaign for heteros? Like, so obviously anything other is bad. It's just like, so... And Little Mama, like, you have a lot of gays that support you. They're probably only people who support you still. And it's just like, same thing with Azealia Banks. Like, be careful what you say. Be careful what you wish for, because it will come strike you down. That's all I got.
When you piss off the LGBT community, it's like the ones who remain the most loyal to a lot of these celebrities. Like, girl, that's just the end of your income. I don't know if she's still performing her songs in gay clubs or whatever. Like, she had that song, and she had the Shoe Game song, which she incorporated voguing and ballroom into the video. Where she had, I believe, members of the House of Mizrahi up in there. So you sit up here and hello, ballroom, dips, all of that, all those moves are populated by black trans women. So for you to diss the black trans community, and then the trans community, and you basically incorporate a lot of their culture into your video for some ascension of a hit. Like, are you dumb? And then, so what she said was, so children are too young to smoke cigarettes, too young to drink alcohol, too young to get a driver's license, too young to go to a club, too young to gamble, too young to rent a car, but old enough to cut off their genitals and or change their gender. This is insanity. I need people to stay out of people's crotches. How about that? Because
it shows who are the perverts. That's what we have to start.
That's education. And why y'all always thinking that Why do you always think that trans means to get rid of your genitalia? I love the fact that we had someone like a T.S. Madison who T.S. Madison is someone who's not afraid to talk about the fact that she has not had bottom surgery and, you know, all this other stuff. And I know, like, Glad, she said, me too. And she said that Glad had gotten to her and was like, well, now that you're you're coming into the mainstream, now we have to bring you in and try to tell you that this is what you should say and this is what you can't say. And you have to represent the community. I'm like, okay, girl. First of all, y'all don't even acknowledge Black people anyway, unless they've crossed over like a Shangela or a Todrick Hall or RuPaul. But y'all want to come, and every time the minute one of us get a smidge of notoriety, all of a sudden you want to try to clean us up. Now, I'm all for the fact that if she wants to cross over into the mainstream, but just let her be her authentic self. But nevertheless, just to get back to the conversation, people need to stop automatically equating trans with the removal of genitalia and stuff. I love the fact that we had Elliot Page talking about he recently got his top surgery. Now he finally feels comfortable with who he is. Whatever. If people want to share those stories, let them share that. But people have to realize the fact of the transitioning of the body, that's a last resort. First of all, it always starts in the mind, where you have to come to terms mentally with the fact that you are transitioning or you are thinking about being transgender. Then there's years of therapy, because at any time people could be like, you know what? We've heard stories where people have said, you know what? I thought I was trans, but then I realized I wasn't. Aja recently said this story on when she interviewed with Joseph Shepard, another cutie, by the way, on YouTube. He did an interview. I always follow the cute ones. Aja recently did an interview with Joseph Shepard, and she told about it. She said in the beginning, like a couple of years ago, when she was, dressing in drag and stuff, she said, I thought I was trans, but then I realized that I was non-binary. I felt like, it was the best of both worlds. We didn't want to go through transitions and so you have to allow people to have the moment to figure out who they are and go through that transition without y'all all trying to incorporate this blanket tweet type statement or billboard type of idea of what something is in your own mind, and y'all coming out saying this shit, and then we got a whole bunch of fighting. But I do love the fact, you know what? The Little Mamas, the Miss Bussies, all these people who bring this up, all it does is it keeps the conversation going. So I'm here for the conversation to continue to happen, because if it don't continue to happen, then trans people will be swept under the rug. So once we continue to talk about it, then it'll get normalized. Kind of like with gays. Like, it took us a long time to get where we are in the gay community, and we still got a long way to go. But now she thinks because of what she said that she's being bullied. It's like, here's the reality with people. You could say whatever it is you want to say. You can have your opinion, this and the third, but with those opinions come consequences. So if you're going to say something out of pocket, if you're going to say something that you're not educated on, feel free to feel the wrath of the consequences of the shit you're saying. And if you're going to say something against the trans community that you don't even know what the hell you're talking about, you're going to get dragged. So, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to do a fashion roundup of the Grammys and then wrap up the show. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more Wednesday Night Kiki after these messages. And after I go to the bathroom.
This is for faggots.
What?
So she's alleging that she says Maluma fell very much in love with Jennifer Lopez, saying that he was drawn to her because she's a 51-year-old woman. Does she remind him of his mother of some sort? Because, J-Lo was that age. Not only that, but Moni claims Lopez is just as into Maluma. In fact, they're having a secret affair. I really see that they've had a sexual relationship. And the pair talks about their deep love for one another all the time on the phone and on WhatsApp. Okay, girl. But she didn't stop there. Moni also alleged that in addition to being obsessed with J-Lo, Malone was also sexually attracted to both men and loved about makeup artists particularly, or people that work behind the scenes, whether it's hair, makeup, or even in any part of the beauty situation. When you work with celebrities, you get all the good tea from them as well, because they will dish it to you. I know, because I've been on many a sets where they be beating your face and stuff, and this is what I'm not going to ask you any of that because we don't want to be that messy. But one of the questions I want to know, because you said you work with Deb Annie, do you think she a Trump supporter? Because that's the storyline they trying to run with on that Growing Up Hip Hop.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even know personally where to look because it's hard to find like good stores that are reasonably priced that have pieces that I would be interested in, especially in New York. So kudos to you and what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's all inspiration. Like I said, I couldn't shop in Buffalo and everyone loved my style. I thought, why not bring it here? It's the exact price point, affordable, not too expensive. Something different.
Okay.
Let me ask you, do you see yourself, like, in 5 years from now, do you see yourself having multiple locations?
That'd be great. That's always the goal.
What are you doing for the community? I don't mean how to rescue the community. We as a community need to work on trying to better the community. I don't need Sherry to do that. Sherry needs to work on her damn self and figure out how she's going to repair the damage that she has caused from the whole situation.
I think she meant that in a sense of like wanting to use his platform to speak up for others. Like now that he came out with bipolar disorder and clearly trying to make amends to what he done, and I think she was using that in a sense. Do you want to use this platform to help other people in the community who are going through this, who may not be, catfishing and scamming and stuff, but bipolar disorder is a real thing. So I took it that way, but I do understand too. Like when people speak out at the same time, we do need leaders. We need allies, and we need the whole components in order to rise us to the cream of the crop. We want to be just as equal as every other heterosexual, and in order to do that is Black, white, Asians, every gay sector of other, and we be stronger united than divided. And that's kind of what I got from it. And I think people have the right to say that they don't want to.
I said, well, since you put it that way, I can say, no, it's always good like when you see it from different standpoints. I can see it. Now that you put it that way, I'm like, okay, so yeah,
virus that did originate in Wuhan. I don't have a problem with it.
Pointing fingers at people.
I'm pointing fingers at China.
We should. What?
Ultimate Black creator in America and probably the world. He's also a TV writer, producer. He's like amazingly talented, and he made fun of Justin Bieber in his final episode of Atlanta. That's the spoiler. Look how he uses the Atlanta peaches as censorship for his mouth. Fire, juxtaposition, artistry. Justin doesn't even sing his own intonations. He steals all the intonations from this Black man called Pooh Bear. You can see the documentary on YouTube for free. The problem is that now Justin is coming out with an album called Justice, just as Donald Glover predicted in the TV show Atlanta, which is causing huge controversy in the Black Twitter community because he's an idiot and used the voice of MLK in his new album. What an asshole, allegedly, in my opinion.
honey.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I was chewing pretzels.
You have
Wait, what happened? Yeah. Child, I gagged over that. They said that Pooh Bear sings all of Justin, which goes to show there's no originality with this boy. He has no sense of imagination. He's literally embodying everything from Black people, but because he had hip hop drums in his last record, he feels like he should have gotten a Grammy for best R&B record. Ciao, bye. I don't know how people even like this clown, but whatever. This album chart like all the other ones. Nobody cares about justice. I'm not listening to no One Less Lonely Nigga because y'all seem to forgot about that. All of a sudden, him talking about justice for what? Justice for what? We want justice. Justice. Remember that song?
Oh God, stop it. I hate that. Wait, who sung that song? Oh no, you did not do it to Mark Angel. I hate you.
I love Mark Angel.
Yes, we love you, Mark.
That's what it reminded me of when I hear him call that justice.
Yes, that's the song. Oh,
shout out to Mark Angel.
Oh God, shout out to Mark Angel. But let's get to wrap up this messy show, guys. We got some fashion roundup, and then we're gonna end this show with some of I'm sure Chris got some more Avalon picks, some entertainment topics, and we're gonna talk about Ellen DeGeneres, the talk show host. The show has lost over 1 million viewers since her return. This is the decline of the DeGeneres. The networks are
She's barely on that show. Every time I turn on that show, all I see is a guest co-host or guest host.
That's why.
Oh.
So we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna talk about how you can get a free donut if you just follow the damn rules.
At Krispy Kreme, right?
Hello. So let's get to some fashion roundup here on Wednesday Night Kiki, ladies and gents. Oh wait, wrong graphic. Sorry guys, multitasking. Okay, don't judge. So we're gonna talk about the Grammys, and we're gonna get to one of the people at the Grammys who made a big, if you saw the Grammys live, the whole show earlier in the show, someone made a big situation, and that being by the name of Lizzo. And that's when she said the B word on stage, like literally 10 minutes into the show. I'm like, this is gonna be a mess. Shout out to Trevor Noah, did amazing for the Grammys. The Trended Stories is up on our YouTube. I spoke about it, narrated it. It was one of the best Grammys that I've seen as far as production. I know the ratings were in the toilet. That's another story. But shout out to Check the Tag for the breakdown here for all of the fashion roundup here. Check the Tag on Instagram, of course. And it says here, Lizzo is wearing Balmain. Is it Balmain or Balmain? I always get it confused. Balmain.
I always go Beaumont.
Balmain. Okay,
I gotta say it like I'm French. Shit.
Balmain. And she was styled by Brett Tella.
I thought I was gonna say Bretman from MTV.
Yeah, it says Brett Talon Nelson. That's what at least that's their Instagram handle. Someone says here, I can't believe that's Balmain. Oh no, LOL.
Yeah. Well, the person that styled her that need to be fired because the dress is, and this is not a read about her being a big girl. It's, you can make clothes for curvy, full-figured women and make it look flattering on them. First of all, I don't know why she didn't call Christian Siriano. Christian Siriano definitely knows how to make curvy women look great. This dress does not look good on her. It looks like they forgot to put the rest of the dress, like her knee is exposed. There's nothing wrong with showing your knees. First of all, with a lotion. Number two,
don't look that bad.
They don't look like a little ash up in there.
Oh, leave Lizzo alone, okay?
First, the hair look like
anyone's dressed better than Nutmeg McCain, okay?
Well, I'd be dragging Nutmeg with her recent looks. I'm not liking this look for Lizzo. I feel like there are ways to make big girls look flattering and look gorgeous without them looking a mess, and that's a miss for me. I've seen a lot of women like what the hell is her name? That was just Coming to America too, the comedian.
Oh, Leslie Jordan, yeah.
Yes, we've seen Leslie Jones look good. Like she said,
Leslie
she had
Jones,
no.
Sorry, I get
Yeah, we have Leslie Jones. We've seen so many full-figured women who look fabulous on the red carpet based on
Let's
who
get to
they.
someone over here who is skin and bones. The next
Dula
pop
Peep.
star, what's Wendy call her? Dula Peep.
Dula
There you
Peep.
go. Dula Peep. She's wearing Atelier Versace, and she was styled by Lorenzo Posoco. Yeah, I like it. This was during her performance, one of her songs. My man was bopping to it. I was like, look at you. All right. Shout out to Dula Peep, honey. Now let's get to a male.
Wait, honey. I like Dua Lipa. Like I'm liking a lot of her music. I love Future Nostalgia. It's like one of my favorite albums of the year. Although, you know, the Grammys tried it by not giving her. I mean, wait, she did win an award, right?
Yeah,
I mean, she did win an award, but she should have won in one of the main categories. I will say this: I preferred the outfit she wore. Not that one, the other one, the long gown, the long hair, where she was giving Cher. I prefer that look over the one she had the performance look. So, you know, she was definitely giving me Cher realness with, you know, and shout out to her. She's definitely been pulling it together. Like she's gotten much better with her stage presence because, you know, that was one of my pet peeves about her. With that she was just a horrible stage performer, but Miss Thing was throwing it down and doing choreography. She was. I've seen a couple of sweat, you know, little sweat droplings and stuff.
I'm done. Then we got Jacob Collier. He is wearing Stella McCartney. He looks cute. I like it.
In the words of Mariah Carey, I don't know him, but
I don't like the shoes. Just not a fan of what they're giving. They're giving very much old-fashioned but affordable chic. I don't know. Let's get to
I agree.
Next, we have here the man of the night, Harry Styles, wearing Gucci, styled by Harry Lambert. Shout out to Check the Tag for this one. Someone says here, major Clueless vibes. You think?
Yeah, that's Cher did wear that jacket in Clueless.
I just think
I know he's pretty much like, to me, every time I look at him, he's channeling Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
But honestly, I prefer the on stage look.
Right.
So quiet as it's kept, you know, as cute as he is, and allegedly he's dating oh my god, who's the actress name? The one that's directing him. Olivia Wilde and Olivia Munn.
No, it's not Olivia Munn.
No, I said Olivia Wilde and Olivia Munn. People get those two confused.
Me too. And one is I think the one is white and the other one's Asian. It's like, how hard is it to?
Yeah, Olivia Munn is Asian. I remember Olivia Munn back when she was on Attack of the Show on G4. That is where I know her from. Before
that the names are so similar, but yeah, he's dating Olivia Wilde, who just got divorced from
Jason Sudeikis.
There we go. And quite a step. Shout out to OK Magazine and Us Weekly because I got some tea here. So while he was on stage winning his Grammys, she was at home playing house. We'll see how long that lasts.
I mean, what else she gonna do? Because you know she had to leave that other household. She got 2 whole kids with Jason Sudeikis, and they showed videos or pictures of her moving into Harry Styles' house. I don't think he knows what he got himself into, but you know, I'll say this.
Like Travis
if you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. But here's the thing: out of all the One Directions, I was always a Zayn fan. I mean, even though nobody's listening to his music, but Zayn is pretty to look at. You know, he got his own kid with Gigi Hadid.
But Zayn gives me the kind of guy is like, after sex, he's kicking you out. Harry looks like he'll wake up and make you breakfast, and I like that. So I'm going.
I mean, he knocked up Gigi Hadid, so you know.
Right, and look where she's at. She's back to work. I don't know. I'm done. All right, so let's get to the next. We have here, oh yes, my girl Janae Aiko. She was with her man Big Sean Dawn. She's wearing Moonsori and Lay Sela shoes. And
Wait, this little old thing is dating Big Sean?
Mhm.
Child, I hope you can handle that third leg.
Well, apparently she can. I mean, she got all those tattoos. She could take a little pain. Let me stop. Like I said, she was styled by Icon Tips here. Shout out to Check the Tag. I love what she's wearing. It's giving me whimsical. It's giving me everything that I need for the Grammys. Although she look a little hot and crunched up, but hey, you know.
I don't know what just happened, but yeah, I like Janae Aiko's look. It's cute. Maybe we'll get EJ back. He probably kicked himself out. But yeah, we'll come back in a few minutes. Where you at? Where you at?
Tried me just
What you do? Kick yourself out?
I guess I was chopping away. When the last part you heard me? Oh,
Janae Aiko.
Okay, Janae Aiko. There you go. Because I was running my mouth till I saw. I was like, wait a minute, no response. I love her look. I think it's whimsical. It's giving me everything. And I just couldn't ask for anything more. But yeah, she is currently smoozing up with Big Sean Dawn. But what do you think of the look?
I like it. It's from, she's giving me very Cinderella at the ball.
Yeah.
It's cute. I like it. It's very it's very appropriate and fitting for her. So yeah. I think it's a good choice.
Me too. And next we have from the Grammys, we got the one and only Grammy Award winning, 3-time Grammy Award winning, first time ever in history for Record of the Year, Taylor Swift, wearing Oscar de la Renta 2021 at the Grammy Awards. I love you, Taylor, but I think the model wears it better. Even though I love your shoes too, Taylor. What do you think?
she was too on the nose with. I don't think we could see the shoes through the whole, the art and fashion roundup. But she was. I felt like she was a little too on the nose with the flowers. We get it. It's the whole theme of your, your album is supposed to be very whimsical. It's folky, folklore, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. It's cute or whatever, but. Yeah, the model does. I feel like the model, it's sex. Like it looks sexier on the model because the model is exuding sexiness. I don't get sexy from Taylor Swift, and I'm not necessarily saying that women have to be sexy all the time. But it's like if you're gonna wear a certain look, you need to fit. I guess maybe maybe I shouldn't say sexy. Confident is what maybe should be the word. Like it doesn't feel like you're wearing the outfit. Like you own the look. It just feels like you're just kind of a walking billboard to promote this album that people were buying and people are liking, whatever the case is.
I mean, listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. She is who she is. She's not going to change. We spoke about the whole Todrick thing, and I like Taylor Swift. I'm a big fan of her music. I fucks with anyone who's a true musician. And just like Prince and my favorite artist, Brandy, like there are people who just really know the whole craft of music. And that's Taylor Swift. She plays all her instruments. She's super talented. And she actually cares about the industry in regards to, when she wants to stand up for something. And regardless if it's just doing with her, it's actually impacting the industry. When she stood up and did the whole Spotify thing, like that set a precedent that, these artists can take control of their catalogs and can make companies make action based on the fact that, yeah, I'm Taylor Swift. And yes, I have millions of followers. And yes, if I tell people not to do something, then they won't do it. Just like we all did for Dave Chappelle. I see nothing wrong with, that Taylor is just, she's like Kylie Jenner, the Kardashian. She's easy to hate. She's easy to do, to throw the darts at her. Like I said, I don't think she looks great in this, but I get why, like you said, it's for the album. The album is folk, I think folklore. Mm-hmm. And you know, and it's a decent album. I don't, it's not my favorite. Like I said, I like the Red album. Red album is my favorite. And then the other one with the Bad Blood, I think that's the follow up. But anyway, but yeah, I'm like, just I let her be. I'm neutral with Taylor, like, because it's like she's not doing what we spoke about about half hour ago with Nutmeg McCain. She's not doing that, and we have to put this in different, you know, compartmentalize it all. Like you said, there's levels to it. Like she's not giving money to LGBT anti-LGBT narratives or charities or churches or anybody that's here to deem or kill us, you know. And we have our issues with Todrick, but she's not doing that. She's not Nutmeg. She's not, you know, Candace Owens. She's not Stacey Dash. She's not Little Mama. She's not on there saying these things. All she is just an average white girl who is a hell of a talent. And yeah, she's a little lost in the sauce when it comes to Black culture. That's fine. But again, she's not demonizing us. She's not trying to take us out. She's not campaigning to end the voting, to stop us from voting. She's not. So it's like, as Black people, we need to pick our enemies. And like, there are people out there who are deliberately in our face every day on the news telling us, you are not voting. You're not worthy of this. And I think we put our anger at the wrong place. That's all I'm saying. Like earlier with Kylie, that was subjective and we broke it down, you know, both sides. But with Taylor, I just don't think, I think the hate is not necessarily warranted. Like, I get the criticism, but the hate is too much. Like, you know, not you. I'm just saying, like,
I'm about to say, because all I said was I didn't like the dress on her.
Right. And I guess I'm speaking to our community, like, you know, as gay men, like, we need to just chill. And I know, don't tell me what the fuck to do, Eric. I got it. Fine. I'm not saying what to do. I'm just saying we need to chill, like, because yes, she is, you know, she put drag queens in her video to go viral. Yes, okay, all right. And she put Katy Perry in the video to go viral. And yes, Todrick is gonna stand for her, and we're gonna talk about him. And he doesn't care, and neither do she, because guess what? They're not out there killing us. So I think if we look at it like that and stop sitting there saying, you know, oh, she's just using us. Of course she is. Of course. But what does using us got to do with stopping us from progress? Is she saying we can't get married? No, she's just saying, listen, be in my video. I want this video to be super gay. And yes, I want to look out for my gay people. Okay. Lady Gaga done that many a times. Just that Lady Gaga, she is. Lady Gaga is gay because she's like super, super down with us. And Taylor is when it's convenient. I get that. Again, I'm talking about the hate. That's all I'm talking about. The hate that we give to the point where, like we spoke about with the drag queens, and we're going to continue to go down this conversation where celebrities get so much hate to the point where they got to delete their Twitter. They got to do this. And you can sit there and say, I'll get sensitive skin. Okay, but until it happens to you and you're on the other side of 1,000 notifications per minute of popping in your phone, if everyone, like, I don't think we realize what it's like to be a celebrity. And I think on the other end, we're on the other side of Twitter looking at this like, oh, well, she needs to go thicker skin because how can you be a celebrity and da-da-da? But are you getting 1,000 notifications per minute of people sitting there responding to something that you just said, like we spoke about with James Charles? He said, happy birthday. And they put all of this evidence of you being a child groomer, allegedly. Like, how does that feel? We don't know. So I wouldn't know what to do if my phone is bing, 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 bing. And it just update the notifications that everyone's calling you slut, bitch, this. That's social media. And a lot of people don't know how to deal with that. You know, it's easy to deal with. It's easy to deal to have a conversation, you and I going at it, and you know, F you. But if I had you and 10,000 other people commenting at me personally, and my phone is just going off all throughout the night, that is anxiety inducing, and anxiety leads to everything else that we see in this world. And yes, I give a damn too much. So be it. This is why I got a man, and none of y'all don't. Thank you.
How?
Oh, sorry.
Like, child, we went on a whole tangent, and all I said was the dress don't look right on her. Mind you, while you on that tangent, I'm sitting eating pretzels.
I just had it, Chris. I couldn't take it. I'm done.
Clearly.
Now let me moving along.
These some good honey wheat twists. That's what I'm eating.
Let's continue to munch. We're going to continue to look at the fashion of the Grammys here. Next up, we got the one and only Beyonce, the Grammy Award-winning, history-making artist who beat her own record 20 minutes after she they announced that she was tied. 20 minutes later, she beat her on record and is the most award-winning Grammy artist, female artist living today. Sorry, that's a lot right there. But she is the most award-winning female artist, period, aside from, I think, what's his name? Quincy Jones. So that's amazing. And she is wearing Schipperelli. I love it. What do you think about the look?
Good for her on her accomplishments and all she's done. And I get why she refused to perform because, the way the Grammys have treated Black people. And I feel like it was sort of a silent protest with her not performing because they were, it's disappointing that she can't perform. We see what y'all was doing. Y'all wanted her to perform because you thought it would bring in the ratings. Because you didn't feel like you had enough people. Now, there seems to be a lot going on between the Catwoman gloves, the sagging boobs and the cleavage, I get the outfit. She does not look like she's comfortable at all. She looked like she didn't want to be there. So she looked like she was tired.
You could tell that, no shade, but Beyonce is definitely getting up there in age. You could see the age.
Maybe she smoked a bowl before she came on.
I won't be surprised her and Jay-Z took a hit. Like, they didn't want to be there to begin with. You're right. That was the energy I got. I love what she's wearing. She did look uncomfortable. I just think that's Beyonce. Like, if she's not performing, she is uncomfortable. And I think a lot of it comes from anxiety, and I'm curious to know her backstory. Like, and that's why Jay-Z protects the shit out of her. And that's why they work. It's like Wendy and Kelvin, who we're going to talk about just a bit with that damn clip. But I just think it's interesting.
She is a Virgo like myself. I was born 9/2. She was born 9/4. And yeah, while there's a certain amount of energy that you have to bring the beat on, a lot of times when we wind down, I am someone who is, and I know it might be surprising to some of you, but I am quiet and reserved and shy. But when I'm around people, there is like an extra confidence that I get, or, if I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, you'll see a lot more of my personality come out. But when I'm on camera, it's like, this is a whole nother person. It's an extended version of myself. But yeah, for the most part, it's like, because I've had friends who were like, well, when we go out and stuff, you're always so quiet and you're always off and you don't interact. I'm like, yes, because that's kind of like myself. I am an introvert mess, in the words of RuPaul. Excuse me, I'm burping on camera like Wendy Williams. I'm an introvert masquerading as an extrovert. So that's how I describe it. So she's probably the same way. But anyway, who's that other picture you brought up? That was like Yolanda Adams, but I'm not sure it wasn't.
That is the one and only the country star here by the name of Mickey Guyton. She's wearing custom Naeem Khan Neil Lane jewelry and Stuart Wiseman shoes, and she was styled by Tiffany Guilford at Tiffany Gifford Style. That is her Twitter. But yes, I love what she's wearing. She does look like Yolanda Adams. I just love her performance too. She gave an amazing performance about Black Like Me. This is the Black country artist, just like Lil Nas X. They did not want her played on country station. And mind you, she is not Lil Nas X. She is not gay. She's just a Black woman, and she sings from the soul. And I guess country people don't know how to connect Black and soul and country. Like, y'all didn't steal that from us too. But that's another conversation. I like this comment here that says here, major Whitney Houston vibes right here. This one here. There you go. Major Whitney Houston vibes here for it.
Exactly. That looks like an outfit that Whitney would wear. The hair is very similar to a wig that Whitney has worn. Like, I'm definitely getting Whitney Houston vibes. And quiet as it's kept, Black people, country music comes from us. Country, soul music, folk music, rock music, house music, all comes from Africa. The drums. Even when you listen to people like from reggaeton, when they talk about that, they talk about it comes from reggae and hip hop and dembow, which is a word that Shabba Ranks came up with. It's a genre of music. So people have to think about the origin of music. White people, y'all can try to whitewash and say whatever it is y'all want to say about stuff, but the reality is, all drums lead to Africa, is what I gotta say. But yeah, I saw her performance. I think she performed during the in memoriam scene. That shit went on a little too long, so I have to admit I kind of did fast forward. But then you told me that they memorialized or memoriamed Ari Gold. I was like, really? The Grammys acknowledged Ari Gold? I was like, y'all didn't acknowledge him in the mainstream industry, but y'all did when he died. That was just a comment I made before. About how we are so influential in a lot of ways. The gays, black people, y'all don't want to acknowledge us when it comes to the mainstream world until we're gone.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in. But yeah, so next we are gonna get to, let me pull up this right here. Let's get to some more photos. Ooh, somebody who I think Chris is really gonna like here. We got Post Malone.
Oh.
The one and only Post Malone over her giving very much performance tease. He's wearing chrome hearts. I don't know if you can see the actual outfit there. He has a jacket on with a bunch of crosses on the jacket. Chrome heart sounds like upcoming designer. Haven't heard that designer, but what are your thoughts?
Chrome heart sound like a cereal, but
I'm done.
you know, I will have to admit, he's starting to grow on me. And then also, child, don't kill me, but there's something oddly sexy about Post Malone. There's just something about him that I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind, ripping them clothes off and going a couple of rounds in the bed with him. I don't know, sometimes, I go through my moves. I like the little dirty ones too.
I hear that.
Yeah, he just gave me like sexy little bear vibes. And then the tattoos and all that stuff, like, I wouldn't do Tekashi 6ix9ine. Like that'd be to the extreme if I had to do that little Mexican midget. But Post Malone could get it in so many ways. There's something oddly sexy about him.
I can understand where you see some of the, I guess, likabilities in him.
I did find it funny in his package because that was an interesting thing. I also have to give it up to the Grammys where they were doing like these personal packages on a lot of the artists that they were highlighting, which kind of gave people more insights on, because there were people up there like Black Parade, I think was the name of one of the groups, or Black Puma. I said Black Parade. Black Parade was the Beyonce song. Black Puma. I was like, I didn't know who them people were, but when the Grammys were explaining, like giving the package of some of the artists, I was like, okay, it gave me insight into their music, and then they got to perform. It's like, okay, now I would possibly go and visit their album and listen to it if I needed to. And one of the things I loved about Post Malone is something that he said in regards to how he said, I'm not he doesn't come from a musical family. Like his parents played music around the house, but his father can't sing, his mother can't sing. He says he kind of does okay with a lot of the tools. But when he got up there and said, I'm like, bitch, you could hold a note. Like, what are you saying? Like, you're trying to make it like you can't sing. You sounded pretty fine to me. I didn't hear no auto-tune. I mean, maybe I wasn't really paying attention, but he was literally, like, he was on key. He was definitely in the notes. So, kudos to him and all that he's doing.
Yeah. So let's get back to
Let's get back to what? My God, I look high. I'm not though. What's going on?
always at the end, girl. They trying to come for us. All right, so we're gonna end this with the one and only the girl of the night who caused all the ruckus, got the FCC up in arms. Let's talk about the one and only Cardi B, who I found out a restaurant by me over here has a Cardi burrito. Cardi burrito. And I don't know if I'm gonna try
cute name.
You said what?
That's a cute name for a Cardi burrito.
Yeah, and I was like, it got like what you call those chips? Those fiery chips, the Taki chips or whatever. It got that in there. It's like a breakfast burrito with eggs and all this stuff, but then it got chips in there for a little
I won't
spice.
ask you what's in it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I'll visit the deli and get me one.
Right. I was like, okay. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see. You know, let me see what I can do.
But she's got a custom Ray Ortiz, piece. What is interesting? I heard like the outfit was a bit heavy, and that's probably why she was like struggling a bit with the choreography and all that other stuff. But there have been girls who wore heavier outfits on stage. There's no excuse. But nevertheless,
custom royalties.
Mm-hmm.
And then
someone commented they were trying to throw shade at her by saying, "Didn't Nicki Minaj wear that in the motorsport video?" But I'm like, wait, there ain't no damn originality in the mainstream music industry, or even in anything. Like everybody who's worn something is worn something. Like we talked about Beyonce stealing from Kylie Minogue in her Beehive outfit, where she came out on stage and the parts came open and then she came out of it. Same thing with Kylie Minogue, where she was like the board queen and she came out of this robot piece and she started performing Come Into My World on her Fever tour. So the girls copy each other.
Yeah, so the place is called Dear Mama. The store, the restaurant, is called Dear Mama, and it's in East Harlem. And a Cardi B burrito is made with house-made green chorizo with soft scrambled eggs, spicy sweet potatoes, melted mozzarella cheese, and crunchy Takis, finished with the awesome roasted salsa verde, all rolled up in a giant burrito. $17. So you guys got $17 for a Cardi burrito. Come on to East Harlem.
$17 for a burrito. Do I get a free coffee with that?
But it's packed, honey. Look at this burrito. You guys can see.
There's a lot in there. Like, that would definitely fill me up.
So I don't know. But right now we're gonna look at this picture here, the last wrap up, and we're gonna end it with a guy.
Little Baby.
Oh, is it? I get him confused. Little Baby, Roddy Rich, The Baby. I don't know. I just know NBA is going to jail. Whatever. Little Baby wearing the Tom Ford jacket, Amory pants, and A Morer Studio and Good Griff vest. Yeah, and he was styled by Jason Rembert. So
I like it. It's giving me very much Black Panther vibes.
Right.
Especially when we had Judas and the Black Messiah that just came out, and I love his performance, the whole Black Lives Matter situation, the cops, and how
one of my favorite performances of the night. I must say, it really was. I love anything just with the mind, social conscious hip hop. And yeah, so I'm definitely here for it as well. I think it was the best performances of the night. Yeah, so we were going to do more fashion trends. We were going to talk about the 2021 men fashion trends. We're going to save that for another episode, guys. But real quick, I'm going to wrap it up today with some last minute topics here as we wrap up this messy show here that we love to bring to you guys. So Krispy Kreme is giving free donuts to everyone. Shout out to Pop Sugar for this one here. If you guys are near a Krispy Kreme and you want to get a donut, now it says throughout 2021, no limit. I think that's the problem, that there's no limit because people are concerned about obesity. So I think if you see the same person, maybe you should not give them 2 free donuts in a day. But if you guys show your vaccination card, once you get vaccinated, you get a free donut from Krispy Kreme. So if you're near Krispy Kreme, show your vaccination card every day throughout the year 2021, and you get a free donut. Yeah, so there you have it. There, Chris, keep me posted.
Well, I'll say this. I don't have to worry about Krispy Kreme and all the other stuff on getting me a free donut based on vaccinations, because from across the street from my job, there is a Krispy Kreme, and my job has a golden ticket that gets us free donuts for a year. And so there'll be times where I come to work and there's like a box of Krispy Kreme donuts, bitch. I say, y'all trying to get my ass fat. Not gonna lose no weight because I live in the gym. I work out 4 times a week. Definitely, be up on it. And I notice the boys be looking. you know, but nevertheless, you know, we all cruise when we're up in there. We're trying to work out and trying to see, you know, people's bodies. And when I'm looking at guys, like, yeah, they're hot, whatever. But it's like, okay, I want, like, you kind of look at, you size guys up to aspire to be like, okay, I like certain looks on certain people, and you want to incorporate that look onto your body and into your workout and doing things that are keep things spicy and interesting. But yeah, then when I come out of the gym and I get to work, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing a box of Krispy Kreme donuts. One time I went in there to pick up a couple of boxes, and I was like, oh my God, if I worked here, I would never lose weight. So that'd be one place I would not want to work. I would never want to work at a Krispy Kreme because I'd just be too tempted.
Ever?
But I like the idea of, you know, people getting vaccinated, you're getting free donuts. So, you know, anything to encourage you. I mean, if you worry about obesity, I mean, child, everything in moderation. Like, nobody told you have to order every goddamn donut inside of the Krispy Kreme. Just, you know, everything in moderation. That's what I do. I eat things in moderation. I'm not denying myself the luxury of having a dessert or, you know, any kind of my favorite foods. You know, some people like to do cheat days, or whatever. No, I'm gonna still eat what I want to eat. That's why I think we lost EJ again. You got chopped. You chopping yourself. Oh yeah, we got to talk about, and then yeah, we got to wrap up because I mean, not we got to wrap up, but we also got to bring up the other stuff, the India Moore and the pictures and all that other stuff. Because bitch, she turned it out in that photo shoot with Tommy Hilfiger.
Yes. Yes.
I'm drinking a lot of things tonight, and of course, I got to wash it down with some water.
Right. So let's get to India Moore, as you mentioned, and gonna wrap up. But real quick, I just want to also talk about this Ellen DeGeneres. This is a story going around right now from OK Magazine. And basically, it's not been a good week. Latest report yesterday, there was breaking news that Portia de Rossi was sent to the emergency room for an emergency appendectomy. She's doing well. She's back home recovering, but Ellen has not been on the show since the debut of September. She's been on and off, and ratings have dropped millions of ratings. Since then, the show has averaged 1.5 million, which is down from 2.6 million. So 1.1 million viewers are down, and this is not good when it comes to, you know, the networks and advertising and all that stuff. Ellen DeGeneres' show is down from the same ranks as Dr. Phil, which has 2.5, and Live with Kelly Ryan with 2.7 million, to other shows in 1 million range, such as the Kelly Clarkson Show, Tamron Hall, and Rachel Ray. So it's interesting. Goes on and says the 2021 season reportedly brought in 105 million, which is 26 million less than 2019-2020 run, which earned 131 million from advertisers. So the money's going down, and ratings going down. This does not look good. We're gonna follow this story, and just stay tuned, guys, for what happens next with Ellen. I mean,
what's coming next should be cancellation, because I don't know anybody who watches Ellen. I haven't watched Ellen DeGeneres' show in years. Like, to me, I can't relate to her sense of humor. I can't relate to her commentary. She's like it's like she's basically a token gay for the straights to, you know, to fawn over. She's a safe homo. That's basically what she is. Like, she's giving nothing but, you know, safeness for straight people to gawk at. Oh, she's not scary. She's not offensive. So, you know, we can gravitate towards that and love on that and watch it, because she's not, you know, flaunting her sexuality, and then she's bringing men on and fawning over. Girl, you ain't sucked a dick in ages. So all of a sudden now you fawning over these shirtless men, acting like it's eye candy, like you like it when you married to a whole woman. So, I mean, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent, but for the most part, Ellen's show is tired. To me, it was tired before this whole controversy came out. This is put the final nail in the coffin. And as far as other shows, Dr. Phil, I don't understand how people sit and watch that crap when that man, to me, is just like trash. You know, the whole recent story that came out with Bad Baby, talking about that place, excuse me, the facility that they would send those kids to whenever they would do the troubled teen episodes. Like, we watching an episode of Maury, when he was sent him to that facility, there was sexual and physical abuse that was going on at the facility. There's a whole story that came out with that, and Dr. Phil is a part of it because that's a place that he basically is recommending these young kids to go to get help. And they have staff in there who are sexually abusing and abusing child. Get Olivia Benson on the line because that's an SVU episode waiting to be talked about. And then don't even get me started on Kelly and Ryan. Child, they need to wrap that crap up. Like the legendary Regis Philbin is gone. You know, that show was what it was with him and Kathy Lee, and then yes, he did the thing what he did with her, but I feel like she has ruined the legacy of that show. You know, Mama No Tits has ruined the what it is with that show.
Well,
You know, she got pectorals. She don't even have tits. She has pectorals.
Your opinions are your opinions, and I agree to some of them, but you know, I think the moral of the story is you're right. Like that, the network.
And I like how she does Ryan.
Because
Seacrest.
Yeah, I mean Ryan at this point Ryan allows it, but I agree. But they you know, the networks are used to a format, and you know they put themselves in this pickle, just like we said with The View. Like The View's been on for 25 seasons. How long are we going to still do this? I know we all love seeing women, especially Sunny, a black woman on television, but okay. So you could say the same thing about a lot of shows. That's just, you know, these networks, they, as long as they're getting advertisers, that's all that matters, you know, and at least above or close to 1 million views. That's all that matters. They're not expecting daytime to go where Grey's Anatomy and all these other shows at night, that primetime shows that are getting, you know, Game of Thrones numbers. They're not expecting that. So as long as it stays steady and advertisers are buying, like I just reported, Ellen advertises $100 and something million, like they're not going to turn that off. So once that money starts dropping and drying up and no more advertising, then yeah, they don't see, you know, or someone better, which they may do with Kelly Clarkson. Who knows? But it's up for the networks.
Or Drew Barrymore, who's trying her damnedest to save that show. And
right, so
I like Drew Barrymore, but I just feel like it's unfortunate that her show is suffering because, you know, of COVID. And it was meant to be a show with an audience and having guests, and said not everybody can do the whole Zoom thing. Not everybody knows how to work that. Look, the women of The View can barely get the timing right with their Zoom stuff. So, you know, a bunch of old hands up there trying to work technology.
You know, everyone that's doing, I say, even we have issues. Like everyone that's doing tech is, you know, it's even Wendy. I saw Wendy this today when she was talking to Eva Lozada, the screen froze. Like that one, you know, Wendy.
I'm not watching the interview.
Like it's so, you know, it is nerve-wracking, but this is the time we're in. I don't see it. I don't see them. I mean, I don't know. I think right now, like I said, I think they're riding the wave. Maybe by the summer, they'll probably pull the plug as the show is wrapping up, and maybe this would be next season, be the last season. You know, they'll probably do some short run from, you know, September to, I don't know, February or some shit. Because I agree with you. It's a lot. It's more bad than good right now with Ellen, and unfortunately, her reputation precedes her, just like Sharon and Nutmeg and so forth and so forth and so forth. But again, these networks do it to themselves, and we're just opinionated, you know, commentators on this side, and also we're watchers. So, but yeah. But speaking of watching, let's talk about this one here, India Moore posing on the cover of V magazine, and these are one of the pictures here from here that Chris wanted to talk about. Yeah, I love this picture. I love India Moore, what she stands for. She's giving me very much, you know, butch realness tease.
Yeah, she looks very androgynous here, even though she does identify with they them pronouns. I am living for India Moore's shoot. I definitely loved a lot of the photos on the cover view where she pulls the bikini bottom all the way up, like she's giving herself a wedgie. You know, there's a lot of amazing photos. If you definitely want to check it out, you can head over to tribe.com, you know, where she talks about, you know, what is it? Well, and I totally forgot. She's only 26 years old. So she discusses activism, growing up in a religious household. She was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. You know, she was vilified by her parents before entering foster care at 14, and her battle with, you know, spirituality and religion, that sort of thing. So all the highlights are on Tribe, and She also talks about how if joining Pose became an indication of change in regards to how trans and queer people were being treated on television. So there's a lot of topics that she brings up. It's a very good interview. I loved a lot of the photos. You know what she reminds me of? Who was the girl that was on Empire that dated Raven Simone? That's what she's giving me in this whole.
Gosh, this DJ was up right now. He's asleep. I forget her name, but yeah, she did Dick Raven, and she was actually on Empire too. Yeah.
I don't want to call her Azriel. No, that was the girl that got turned out by R. Kelly. But a lot of I definitely love a lot of the pictures, and she's a gorgeous girl. I'm gagging over the fact that she cut off all her damn hair, but like anything, it grows back. Hair grows back.
And if you've seen T.S. Madison latest episode, Hard being a trans woman, honey. Okay, she got that laser done. I was like, no, ma'am, it's a no for me. But you gotta do this. Beautiful, honey. Shout out to India Moore. Shout out to the entire cast of Pose. Again, if you guys want to get more on this, you guys can go to, as Chris Avalon said, you can go to tribe.com and get more, as you see right there in the lower third here. Get out, support LGBT content. This is Wednesday Night Kiki Lite Edition, and we want to thank everyone for tuning in to this show. We'll be back next week for another light episode, and we're working on more episodes with more guests, and then eventually Chris will be debuting his new talk show. And I don't know. Well, we're still waiting to give information and stuff. So I guess as we start locking down dates and stuff, we'll give information, get the flyers and graphics out there. But very, very soon, guys.
It'll be within the next month.
There you go. So there you go, guys. Stick around for so much more here via Wednesday Night Kiki and Chris Avalon TV. I'm EJ Parker. You can follow me at EJ CEO Corner, or you can follow Host Chat Live at Host Chat Live. We're everywhere. And Chris is on the weekends with On the Line and his show as well. So we're everywhere, guys. So just follow us and stay connected on what's going on. And be in the know on our next episode. As you guys see right there, that is Wednesday Night Kiki information, and Chris and I will be in the next one. But yeah, so Chris, anything you want to say as we wrap up this show?
Yes, thank you all for watching another episode of Wednesday Night Kiki. Be sure to follow me on my social media platforms, which is Chris Avalon OFFI1. It's supposed to be official, but you know how social media is. So Chris Avalon OFFI1 on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to see some of the latest stuff, or you can follow me on Facebook. Just Google Chris Avalon, it comes up. I post a lot more on there because I have a wider audience on Facebook. But yeah, and also follow Wednesday Night Kiki, follow the YouTube channel, all the stuff for the latest, click like, subscribe for the latest content, and be sure to leave your comments on the topics that we talked about as well. So until next week, love you all for watching. Until then, ciao, darling.
Bye.
Bye.
And she probably got 5 new boyfriends. We haven't caught anybody coming out of the house yet, but just a matter of time. She's not lonely. I apologize.
What?
Through the mud. Roll that clip.
No, I don't have it.
Oh, that's the picture. I felt like I was on the radio. We'll talk about. We'll play the clips and all that. I'll talk about this again on Saturday during the podcast. We can give the music, the audio clip, and all the context. I literally thought you were about to press play, but that's a still. How you doing? Yeah. So they basically went in on him, and he had this to say. He said that I guess he wanted them to kick his ass because, you know, he said, y'all don't give me 90% of the credit. And the last time and then even said, oh, yeah, he'll take a picture with anybody, including people like Candace Owens, who a vile, sunken place, nappy-headed, no edges having heifer that throws her own goddamn people on the bus. Bitch, throw her out in the field like y'all did Izzy and Roots. Because this bitch is a mess. But he went and said, he said he felt like they were rude and he blindsided by how they questioned him. He was not happy about the interview went. It was unprofessional. This is what a source is telling Kate said. He went on to say, he went on, and I guess this is what they'll say. They said he went on to produce or promote his tight-ass documentary, The Reunited States, which is produced with Nutmeg McCain. But the interview, went left when Sonny and Anna Navarro, who appears part-time, took Jones to task for his past association with the Trump administration. So there are those who really accuse you of being an opportunist, and so to speak, who provided a racial cover by former disgraced, twice impeached President Trump. People in the Black community don't trust you anymore. And Navarro followed up by a lot of people who trusted you and who saw you as a voice because of this you took during the Trump administration.